Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Salam alaikum.
Стартуем. Фух. Давай.
Я тебе ебальник набью. Я уже договорилась. За тобой едут, блядь, последний понедельник.
Да вы чё, с порога-то только открылся сразу, я закрылся. Хотел сказать инсейху и Доминиону спасибо за фоллоу. Один 8 часов назад, другой 2 часа. Вы чё там? У вас это... челлендж? Отписались, записались? Или чё? Чё такое, блядь? Так, надо чатик включить. Чё там, через час у нас великое и могучее это? Лекция Крайтека на тему, как мы провели выходные? Ну да, будет стрим. Но он будет через час. Так что предлагаю. Блин, так покушал, так спать хочу. Не уснуть бы под этот стрим. Великий и могучий. Так отужинал. Прям. Так. Как коржик из улицы Сезам. Знаешь, он там, как там коржик есть? Там... Вот так же вот. Крошки, пыль, слюни. Вот и. Ты же с меня рисовали. Я же надо вот как раз сейчас на него похож. Такой же лохматый. Я хочу квикплей. Сходить. Размяться. Можно? Сейчас в Division 2 играл. В аддон. Прошли аддон. За кадром. И, кстати, я пораньше сегодня опять запустился. На полчаса. Так, маленькими шажочками и выйдем. К нормалной графику. Если что там, поздоровался, нет с вами? Если нет, то привет. А если да, то еще раз привет. А то я что-то с порога English speaking начал. Ой. Как тяжко жить, а? Главное, держите в курсе, что там это началось. Пришествие крайтеков на Twitch. Так, что с качеством? Качество, что? 820. О,
Иди нахуй.
Прочел просто. Прочел ее. Он опять на меня наорал. Да не один
Больше
ты
сюда не
опять.
пиши, бля. От тебя, блядь, говной воняет даже. Отсюда телефона чувствую, блядь.
Эй, харай, тихо, тихо, тихо. Здорово, здорово, Нисан. Приветики, приветики. Да не один, бля, не один я. Все. Тише, тише. Тынц, 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 тынц. О! Пойдёте. Чпонькать. В одно жало, чтоб свисало. Ну, я нашумел. Где там? Где эти Рухант тревелсы? Все? Только ради денег? О. Псина подводная обыкновенная, да-да. Есть такая. Алум. Есть нож. А где он икал? Ай! I'm famous, stupid bot. Go home, Янки. Может, лобальку взять? Кстати. Я там где-то саблю видел. Все, изи. Проапгрейженный сетап. Блин, любая подсказанка.
Больше сюда не
очень
пиши,
хуйня.
бля. От тебя, блядь, говной воняет даже. Отсюда телефона чувствую, блядь.
Но он думал, что я не побегу добивать. Что я, типа, великодушный. Петрович, what the fish?
Salam alaikum.
Алейкум ассалям. Салам алейкум.
Здоров, Жень, здоров. Откуда? Финансы на такие роскоши. Почему мне? Ты шо во мне, аристократа увидел? Знаешь, сколько сейчас это удовольствие стоит? Чё, опять без реги? Ну-ка посмотрим, что это за ебаное. Иду, не знаю, где вылазит. Ага. Когда я стригусь по классике, у меня будет маленькая челочка такая здесь. Красотенюшка будет, короче. Будет красота. Посмотрим на АИМ. Парни.
Откисай, слабый.
Ой! Я это вслух показал? Блять. Он не может это. Он слабый. Я сильный, он слабый. Он не может так делать. А я могу. Ну давай покажи там пиу-пиу своей. Чуйку. Ну-ка. А, 2-12, парни. Просто... Со всеми. Вот мой хедшот он не поймал, а должен был. Так, что там? Время 11. Через полчаса у нас старт. Что не так? Я умер, он выжил. Ты такой глупый, такие глупые вопросы задаешь сегодня. Бол, соберись. Соберись. Сверху вниз в тело, насквозь, через голову был выстрел. Нет, все, хватит, настрелялись. Хватит. Там потом НС их накопит, проплатит. Это в прямом, да, хоть не в прямом. Хоть в переносном, вообще похуй. Так. Что ты проплатил? Вот ты ж этот, как его? Ну этот. Ну ты ж, ну, эх, ух, ах. Не оставляешь меня. А у нас нет, да, этой херни? Ну нет, с глушаком нас выгонят, наверное. А вот. Такой красотой не выгонят. Поехали! Уевший машинист. Заряженный. Заряженный паря. Да, именно так и будет. Сейчас найду носик припудрю только. А то все-таки в люди в свет выхожу. Ага. Именно. Так и было. Откуда знаешь? Следишь за мной? Я вообще не выспавшись. Всю ночь в предвкушении. Думал, лидерборды. Сезоны. Награды. Хитреги. Просто. Ага. С изолентой купил вместе. Вместе в комплекте шли синие. Троллишь меня? Да? Да? Да. О, видишь. Волт шарит это. Не зря в хейтере подался. Всю подноготную от и до. Чекает. Если бы докабы. Алкашан, знаешь, вот чем хорошо живется? Вообще, то есть, вот кроме бутылки, вот вообще ноль проблем в жизни. Вот главная проблема где-нибудь ужраться. А партнеры в этом деле, как бы, ну, всегда найдутся. И спасители тоже. И спиртовары. Что такая резкая? Прикройте папу. Го пиздить, хлопцы. Ну помоги, блядь. Up me, guys. You been revived. Я, кстати, не поверил, что он там сидит. Не знаю почему.
Save me alive.
Ну, что-то интересное было, да?
Maybe an Xbox.
Just go fight.
You don't have full HP.
I have 125. Ну, видишь, заботятся сразу обо мне. Знаешь, что без меня не выиграют. Сразу говорят, ты не полный, мы прозрем, тебе сразу положатся мосинги, ну, пойдем на босса. Текстуры, интересно, пофиксят в 1.5? Наш друг болеет очень на видном месте.
Иди нахуй.
Ну, не докрутил немножко. Бучи псы, блядь. Хоть он вертится. Хорош! Хорош! Сзади! Копье! Не нервничай! Соберись! Соберись, соберись! Сзади бежит. Бежишь. Хорош, блядь! Машинист охуевший. Ну, тут как бы очевидно, видно. Хороший. Хороший сетап. Могет, могет, могет. Просто лев львиный, да. Где папа не смог, рандом помог. Good job, man.
Well played. Well.
Я не понял, это что было. Агусты. А нахрена мне копье? Кто так часто работает? Там заминировано все. -3, -3, минус. А, ну двойка осталась где-то. Надо копье взять. Мы же пойдем на босса. Какой-то веки рандомы не это. Не подвели. Сегодня, может, дождь пойдет. Али снег. Али дождь. Али. На-на-на-на-на. На-на-на-на-на. На-на-на-на-на-на-на. Копье. Ну мы сейчас на второго босса бежим. Я же продуманный. Не первая сотка часов. Сейчас остался отъехать, блядь. Smart player, smart move, но... побежден. Привет. 1660 Ti. Как он это делает? Он меня переигрывает. Графика?
Блять, он ёбаный волшебник!
Kind of magic. А где она? Где динамит, блядь? Через... дай бог памяти. Через Streamlabs OBS. Вспомнил. Сильно длинное название английское. Too much сложно for me. Ну да, есть такая тема. Лифт убийца. Что там у нас? Через 15 минут у нас это... Крайтеки, аки-паки. Так, стрим пресет, сейчас скажу. Теперь подпишись и косарик. Настройки за косарик. Через этот. Через, короче, NVENC New. Через NVIDIA-вский драйвер. Siberia 8000. Интервалы 2. Макс качество. High профиль. 0 GPU. Тихо-визуальная корректировка. Вкл. Но еще можно вкл это сделать. Предугадывание. Но почему-то оно у меня не включается. Ну, то есть оно не это. Не алё вообще. То есть я даже если вкл делаю, оно авто выключается. И это сейчас у меня еще пролагивает. Но мне надо было еще ребутнуться перед стримом. Не знаю. Потому что я классный. Помимо Ханта я ничего как бы не запускаю особо. Хотя не, бот сейчас подгружен. Что еще? Все подгружено. Стимы, хуимы всякие. А у тебя просто какой? А ты через видюху стримишь? Кстати. GG, guys. Блин, надо было им с порога показать еще тактику, мету новую. Спортивной ходьбы. Так, ну что там у нас? Что там? Крутеки написали по коням, не? Можно уже седлать? Что, есть иногда время на один квик? One more quick, please. А он уже вышел. Болт хиливнул. Ретайр. Сколько за Ханта 38 дадут? 4 левела. Опа-це. Что-то пролагивает. Надо было ребутнуться. Ну ладно. Вот этот пойдет у нас. Убийц. Убийц. Думаешь, это все так просто, что ли, инцейх? Это я так и... намекаю, что пора бы и занести. Смазываю, так сказать.
Иди нахуй.
Спасибо, понял. Понял. Ну чё, мне и полтинника хватит на жизнь. Подумаешь, губу раскатал. Так, надо твич открыть этих хрютынов. Так только там звук пойдет. А он пойдет. Я опытным путем пришел к выводу, что стрим начнется в 11:30 по моему времени. Исследование ушло у меня ровно 15 минут. Надо подумать, как стрим назвать. Типа обмазываемся новостными новинками в прямом эфире? Лайв? 360 ноускоп говной? У меня есть план, я его придерживаюсь. Мы сейчас пойдем через... Правда, тише мать, нас же далеко видать. А у нас Бренхейм. Сабля. Мы как генерал бежим. Мы же здесь? Враг уже здесь? Еще нет. Кажется, меня игра переиграла. Весь план ли сломала. Ну, еще клиент там в заднице бежит. Вот вчера потренировался в беге. Ну, как все хорошо идет. Чтоб эта говнина не наговнила бы мне здесь. О. Пиши, мужик. Чуть осталось. Нам уже было бы пора бы проапгрейдиться в что-нибудь. Где он? Настигла. Уля. Господина. Чем умеем кидать? Ну, конечно, блядь. Здравствуй, Спарка, Новый год. Заставляет на всю хп, блядь. Просто вообще одичалые какие-то. Кто там стреляет? А? А? Где стулом? Кто? Не вижу зла. Так, по гранту у нас полная... О, добрый вечер. Где, внизу, что ли? Чё там так разошелся-то? Ну, был близок. Чуть-чуть не долетело.
Откисай, слабый.
Чуть-чуть. Чуть-чуть не доиграл. Ну, с такими хитрегами, как бы, ну, извините, сделал все, что мог. Абсолютно. Ну, почти. Немножко не получилось. Сразу. Ну чё, блядь, они даже в это, как в тайминге не могут. Какие, блядь, о чем здесь, о какой игре здесь говорить вообще можно? Алло. Алло. Germany Indie Studio. О, в эфире. Все. Опоздали. 5 минут. Так. Браухер, где? Так, намана? Ну-ка, восхищенного возгласа фанатов. Легенд. Салюдос пинчи ленгуас. О. Ой. Ну что там? Пойти водички налить, что ли? Святой. Чтобы на экран так делать. Пш-пш-пш. Repeat, please. The English very bad? I am translate for you. Don't worry. Я постараюсь. Видишь, consulting line map. No проблема. Burrito. Vanishing monsters. Изгоняют монстров. Сейчас они закончат и начнут демонов, блять, из своей головы выгонять. Ля-ля-ля. Норм я назвал? Скажешь? Мне кажется, Genius.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first developer live.
О, этот вечно довольный чувак справа, блядь, ему хоть какашка покажу.
Very happy New Year because we didn't have the opportunity, as well as Chinese New Year. And hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Today we are here with Dennis as always. Say hi. And
hi.
we will be And we will be talking about a lot of things, so you guys better prepare your popcorn and all your drinks, because we will have a lot to go through today. So I hope
Они
you're
хотят
all ready.
все наши мечтания.
And yeah, let's dive into it, Dennis. And let's
Так.
start off with a very interesting topic, which is Hant's 3rd anniversary, which just happened this Monday. Everyone.
3
Yay, we
years
did
now. 3 years. It's amazing.
3 года.
Exactly.
Поразительно,
So,
как
as
мы
you
еще
may
живы.
know, Hunt came to early access in
Сейчас краткий курс
2018
истории
on
в Хант.
February 22nd, and yeah, as we said, this is our 3rd anniversary, and since then so much changed in the game, and we will show you a really cool video which you may have seen in a bit, and we will look at all the, or most of the changes that we went through. And,
Странно, почему они anniversary считают с раннего доступа. Считали бы, блядь, как в голове идея появилась, чтобы нет.
All kinds of activities on social media, like giveaways, quizzes, contests. So make sure to check out the stories and like participate in our giveaways and check out our Steam discounts.
Обещают много
And talking
активити
of discounts,
и
we actually have
подарочков.
a huge anniversary bundle where you can get a bunch of the DLCs as well, the game, base game, with a big discount. And if you already have the game or some of the DLCs, this amount also changes, so you don't miss out. And in addition, we also have some really cool merch for you just for the anniversary. And we also have the trade Showdown t-shirts available in our store. I know you guys have been asking for that a while, and now it's all available. So make sure to check out the
Хант поднимется с колен.
look at these beautiful t-shirts. Like, look at them.
The left one is my motto.
Эпическая сила.
Hunt give it,
Hunt
take it
give,
away.
Hunt
Yeah.
take away.
Sometimes more than the other.
They are
Ух
super
ты
badass,
ж.
and they are only for the anniversary, so make sure to check them out if you want something. And as I said,
Эмулятор вообще самая
presenting the
охеренная
trade,
футболка, мне кажется.
shirts.
Надо брать.
I have to get one myself as well. And as we said, we had so many changes in the past 3 years. We had over 40 updates.
обновлений.
This includes the early access updates as well
За
as
год,
our
за прошедшее время.
after 1.0 release updates, and like but not including the PlayStation and Xbox patches, so just updates in general for all platforms. And obviously this included so many things like weapons, bosses, a new map, times of day, variants, game modes, and way more. Dennis, what is your favorite thing that we added?
It's very hard to say. I think like the best thing
Простой
I
вопрос.
think for
Его
me
любимая
personally
вещь
was
это
probably
скины.
trios.
Скины же ж.
That's the
trios,
one.
that was a
That's the
huge
one I think that changed the game so drastically in such a positive way. So I really like trios.
I still remember that there was no dark side boost in the beginning. Hunters didn't start with the same amount of health and stuff like this, so it's kind of an insane journey if you think. No fall damage, like, what? Crazy. But yeah, and as we said, we have a really cool little video for you guys to show. Maybe you
let's
have
have a
seen
look
it,
at
but let's take a look.
Боже, тип.
Вон тебе перечисляют, что добавили. Смотри. Дата, время, число, все подписано. Рудника добавили. Фьюзы декойные. Кстати, ватчтауэры добавили, это вообще такая мертвая механика. Кто-нибудь пулится ватчтауэрами вообще? Я вот сколько играю, я ни разу не я вообще не обращаю внимания на эти ватчтауэры новые. Я поначалу бегал, что-то искал там ган какой-нибудь. Абсолютно бесполезная херня. Так по этому видео вспомнил, что они же добавляли реально как нечто новое.
Trust me, guys, you don't want to miss this. So let's start with this.
Понеслись.
Boss number 4.
О!
Yeah, and just show the slides there. Exactly.
As you guys may know, the new boss is on its way, but
да не гони. Сколько в тройках играю, ни разу тройки не видел в этих.
As well as a specific dev stream just for it. I can't just say anything, but it is very soon. So make sure to stay tuned. And as you may know, the crow will fly in 28 days. So take it as you will.
28 days, getting closer.
And now, guys, just pay a lot of attention to your screen.
Одно говно меньше в этом стриме.
Just look at that, okay? So that's about it for now, guys. But trust us, very soon we will have a lot more about it. So 28 days.
Иди в пень.
But this update, we have some new unique weapons which you have maybe seen because we kind of showed some of it last year, or at least a bit of these, but now they are here in full force. So let's take a closer look at them, starting with the Winfield какой-то.
Yeah, so this is a completely new rifle that we have. It looks very familiar to its smaller cousin, the 1873. It's already in the game. Now, what is different with the 1876? So this is basically a large slot, but it is a medium ammo rifle. And as such, it brings something new to the game that we're going to talk about a little bit more now.
Exactly, so it's a large slot weapon that's using medium ammo compared to the other Winfields. And it's a revolution rifle, obviously, and can use the iron repeater and levering traits just like the other Winfields.
So nothing really new in this regard. It's basically working like the normal Winfield mechanically. But it does fire a bigger round, and it has implications of how fast it can, for example, shoot, the recoil, just control in general, as well as the damage evolution over distance. And it still means obviously levering is possible, but will be at a slower rate of fire. I think we're gonna look at some videos in a second there as well.
Levering наследник, это, конечно,
мне кажется, too much. Higher muzzle velocity and a large magazine size, which is its strength, I would say.
Yeah, I think like at the moment this weapon fires. I mean, we kind of modeled this after the historic weapon it's based on, right? It's supposed to like one of the first large bore hunting rifles that emerged as part of like the whole like big game hunting that happened in the second half of the 19th century, like the prairie, like the bisons, etc. That type of stuff.
С этим висельдом стены вообще на леверинге можно просто
which is actually very comparable to like with a long bullet rifle.
Любой дом ходить вокруг шотать по КД.
The capacity is I think 9+1 rounds, so it's a large tube.
Просто в стену тыкать и зажимать.
Have a little bit less punch than, for example, the Springfield and the Vetterli. They're in the game as well. So within the medium rifle category, it is like the weaker of the weapons, but obviously it makes up for that with the rate of fire as well as the ammo capacity.
That all sounds cool, and let's look at it in the picture. As you guys can see, we kind of show you a teaser picture, but now you can see it in its full glory. And more than just pictures, we actually have some awesome videos to show you.
Awesome videos. Ну-ка.
Yeah, so first thing is just the mechanics of it, just briefly. As you can see, there's probably not so much new there. You see a bit of the recoil of the weapon, firing sound, etc.
Ой, прицел говной.
It sounds really cool though, like pretty punchy.
I can see like the reloading takes a little bit longer. It's just a bigger bullet that has to be pushed inside. So everything is a bit slower, a bit more common. It's like a slow-mo Winfield almost. And then as we go to levering in a second, you're gonna see like that rate of fire is also like, not that
Прицел
fast
говнище
compared to
просто.
You can tell here as well. It's slow.
Почему не взять прицела старого
But it sounds
Винфилда
very
от
beefy though,
обычного?
I like it.
Что это за... вот-
So this is based on the
Бать, он
centennial
перезаряжается.
model of that rifle, which was basically released as part of the centennial exhibition first, and that's where I got it named from. It's basically a bit of a musket shape in terms of like it has a longer foregrip. You can see like the wood extends further out. That's why
Бать,
it
он с
gives you, like,
леверинга
a
стреляет
longer,
просто. Бом,
tube magazine
бом.
underneath to hold the ammunition. So yeah, I think this is actually a pretty weapon, but it's obviously still a Winfield.
Что-то
It is
это...
a unique weapon over its complete new model, complete new skin.
Ну,
Alex and the guys have worked really hard on this
это
one.
это Винфилд этот. Ну, недоношенный Винфилд.
As Dennis mentioned, here is your first look at levering.
Отсталый в
And it's a
развитии.
bit slower compared to the other.
Немножко медленный во всем. И с большим прицелом.
Like think of the levering to be comparable to, for
Дешевле.
example, other large caliber weapons like the uppercut.
Переношенный,
If you fan the
да-да-да.
uppercut, it's significantly
Это,
slower
скорее
fanning than the
всего,
smaller calibers,
как
and that's the same
дешевле
shooter,
Витарли
because
будет.
it's a heavier bore, it's like a
Так.
bigger bullet. It's just a bit harder to control. That's why the levering rate is just
Ну нет, с
slower
нормальным
than
Винфилдом
it is, for
перелезать на
example,
это
with the
говно не буду.
1873 that basically just fires handgun ammunition.
Yes, and the armor is even easier to see. Like the recoil is pretty nasty.
Да дерьмище прицелы. Ты видел вот эту плямбу? Но она жирная, пиздец. Самый идеальный прицел в игре это у Мосинка и у первого Винфилда.
But
Все.
that's not the only new
Ну и
weapon we
обычного
have for you
Винфилда.
guys. As you may have known, we have yet another Winfield, the
О,
1887
Winfield
Terminus,
Terminus.
which is actually a shotgun.
Man, that's like my new favorite toy. This is such a great piece of weapon. Again,
Чего,
large
блядь?
slot, it's a lever action shotgun. So also part of the Winfield family, of the famous Winfield family of firearm makers. This one is a weapon you might have seen maybe in particular movies from the 80s here and there. I think it's a bit of a fan favorite. Many people have been asking for this one. So yeah, let's have a look at it.
Well, first let's just go through what it can do. So, as Dennis said, it's a lever action shotgun, and it can also use.
Ну
the
чё,
iron
ну
repeater and levering
Сакура
trigger
был прав,
for
скоро
shotgun,
Винфилд
which is
копье
kinda
будет
crazy.
в игре.
It has a 7 shell capacity and with a pretty good rate of fire.
С айрон
And, this is
репитером
how
и
it
этим.
looks.
И леверингом.
Yeah, so the interesting part about this weapon is that like it has like a tube magazine capacity of 5, but actually holds 2 additional rounds. So compared to like some of the other weapons, which have like this plus mechanic,
Можно,
you can
но
chamber
позже.
one, this one actually holds like an additional round in the elevator that kind of moves the rounds between the tube magazine into the breech. So that's why it can have like 7 rounds total, like basically a 5+2.
And we also have a bunch of videos to show you for this one, so let's just dive into them right away. Wow. That's brutal.
It's like basically
Ну,
like
по
a big
крайней
artillery
мере,
piece,
прицельчик,
like
и
a
это
full
выглядит
turning.
прикольно.
I so love the
Yes,
the mechanical
it's so cool.
workings of this weapon. So I'm really happy with how like the art guys and animators have kind of like made this thing come to life. It really shines. It's really cool.
Скорость
Even the
леверинга
reload
покажите,
is
пожалуйста.
really badass, to be honest.
And see, like as you kind of cycle it one more time in order to elevate the round up into the chamber. Then, like it's one of the things that we do with Hunt. And you've seen this with the Spectre as well, like the 1882 shotgun. We try to mimic a little bit like the mechanical requirements these weapons have. Right? So if it's a cumbersome weapon in real life, we try to make it cumbersome.
А он же почти же есть.
Like the mechanical pieces
Только
are
пока
really
не нитро.
working nicely together, and just like it gives you like the sense of purpose and the sense of mechanical accuracy that I really enjoy.
And,
Ну да.
Let's look at yet another video.
Официально вышел.
In action.
Это что, леверинг? А, нет, это...
So this is like obviously with the iron
Ебать!
around and repeater trade, and
А вот это вообще что за имбаланс?
Bullet grabber as well.
Сколько? 7 патронов? Ну реально можно просто залезать с леверингом и бам-бам-бам делать. С обоим и просто тройку ложить в здании.
It takes pretty long to reload it though.
Yeah. Also, like from a damage perspective, so like this weapon is a medium length barrel, right? So you can see it's like not Romero or Auto 5 or Spectre level. This is more similar to like the barrel length that you see on the Rival as well as the Bayonet Spectre. So that means the spread and the accuracy is more matching with those two variations. So obviously something that's needed for this gun because like with 7-round capacity and a pretty high rate of fire, even without levering, right? Like this needs some balancing. And what we have here is basically just balance through damage as a compensating factor. That's why we chose like this barrel length in order to make sure it kind of sits nicely between the Spectre on the lower end and the Auto 5 on the upper end. And that's also obviously reflected in the price and unlock level.
Yeah, and as you guys saw, it can take out an armor pretty damn quick.
Кстати, да, обрез короны можно за 300?
So I guess this will be a good choice against the new armor types because you don't want to punch them that much.
Well, this one is just gonna be a very flexible weapon, right? Like so, you have a chance to just like fire more frequently than with other shotguns. You have the rate of fire. If you invest in levering, obviously that thing kicks like a mule. You can see it, right? Like it's really hard to stay on target, right? It's less controllable even than the Auto 5 in that regard. Because it's lighter, the Auto 5 at least compensates some of its recoil just by being a heavy piece. But this one here is more the middle ground between the Spectre and the Auto 5.
Awesome. But that's not all, guys. We actually have a new weapon variant as well for you, which is actually a variant of one of these weapons. And this is the terminus hand cannon version of the previous weapon that you guys just seen.
Obviously, we can't release an
Чего у них за привычка что-нибудь добавить и тут же резать это?
Version, and so that just simply had to happen. And let's have a look at how the different. So this is a medium slot weapon. Obviously has like a shorter barrel and no buttstock. It can still obviously use all the traits. It functions like the weapon, and it has 1 round.
Интересно, они Айрона Репитера из-за вот этого всего говна, что они повводили, они увеличат его стоимость?
Smaller, and as Danny said, it has 1 less ammo capacity, and this is how it looks.
That still makes it basically a medium slot weapon that has like up to 6 rounds capacity. It's like quite a bit. So 50% more.
Которого этими кидался.
Compact, for example, can hold, but obviously it has its drawbacks.
Осколочными.
You need to invest into traits in order to maximize it, as well as just like the damage recoil control being different. Like the Spectre Compact has a foregrip attached, which means the recoil is much more manageable on that one. This one doesn't, right? It kicks much more though.
Chat is saying Terminator mode activated, so let's just look at the video that we have prepared for you guys.
Скорее всего, после теста стоимость репитера будет увеличена. Вот как раз из-за этого говна. Который как бы нахрен не надо вообще было бы вводить.
Yes. Let's just look at it a few times though. Too cool.
И что это?
So it's like basically there's like the flip spin cock thingy there. We need that to be in there.
What the animation?
Play randomly. So once in a while it's gonna be the normal reload as you see in the full version. And once in a while
To large slot, это средний.
Here, which I think looks very amazing, and I'm very, very happy how this turned out. And I can see from the chat, so are you.
Тот будет обычный дробовик на Винфилде. А это будет необычный дробовик на Винфилде. Кастрированный. Ну куда ж без этого говна?
Starting with Calamity Jane, which is the Centennial's legendary version this time. And it's gonna be for 400 blood bonds in the in-game store.
Yep. Do you want to read the text again?
Sure.
It's too small for me. I can't read it.
Еще одна стримерская пушка. Когда про меня
So
сделают?
I would not be able to read it out.
Sure, that's the reason, yeah.
2000 часов.
Let me read it, guys. Okay, so this very Winfield
Сделайте мне пососную что-нибудь. Calamity.
Over in the hands of the infamous Calamity
с
Jane,
USA,
in the
с
bio
Востока,
after a
по-моему.
series of tragedies put the show out of business. In the hands of the hunter who bought it, it still wrought both the tragedy and trickery with which it had been christened. So that sounds pretty
really like
cool.
It has like this really nice like case-hardened look to it, like kind of like being tempered with, and I really like the details also on the grip. So it's more of those more traditional, I would say, skins. Like it's not like totally
It's
over
more
the top.
clean, I would say.
It's
You
more
know, like
but this, I think it looks very
Да,
nice.
да, хоть их, пожалуйста,
So
назовите
let's
там,
take a look how it actually looks.
чтобы они при это возгорались при ударе об землю.
As you guys can see, it, as Danny just said, it has Calamity Jane on top, and it's a really clean skin. I actually really love it with the engravings. And we don't have 3D viewer for you guys this time, but I think this is even cooler than that. So
That's
hope
so
you guys
much
like
cooler.
it. Yeah.
Finally, I don't have to record a video where I just with my mouse spin around just quickly there, and it looks always This is the proper way of doing it.
Да.
And talking
Legendary
of legendary skins, we obviously also have one for the shotgun, the Terminus, and this is gonna be even cheaper than the other Winfield, just 300 blood bones, and it is called Lost Estate. And I guess I can, yeah. So hunters pass on heirlooms of old and new on the deathbeds of mud. The receivers, grateful strangers, mantles in haste and
Вот
greed.
так, вот так,
Lost
да, да.
Estate is named for inherited land sold to pay for the
Там
engravings
еще
on this
можно, да, ну
Winfield
как раз 12 фраз
1887
можно нарезать
Typically,
всякие. Игра
it was
говно и
passed on
так
without
далее.
ceremony. The names forgotten, but the patterns repeated. That ass. And this is also more of a clean gun, I would say. Like, more fancy.
Yeah, absolutely. I really again like.
Что там, патроны покажете, нет?
It's the thing like that I always do the first time when I see
Или что, патронов не будет?
skins like passed on like to look at like from the art guys. It's just like open up in a 3D viewer and just like look at all the details, go really deep in. Just like it's that's the gun nerd in me that just feels very satisfied whenever I get a chance to do that.
I mean, it's so beautiful, like honestly.
Это, блядь, все beautiful. Я говорю ему, какашку, блядь, заверни у нее, и та будет beautiful.
And this like video is
Absolutely beautiful. Amazing beautiful.
Hope you guys like it too.
Блядь, скины просто какие-то, ну, блядь, ну скин как скин. Обычный скин.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Alright, so
Beautiful.
that's about our new legendaries, and we
понеслась.
to the biggest part of the stream. You may have seen some teases regarding this
Говном
on our
помазали
social
бы
media
уж.
channels. Maybe we have mentioned it in previous depth stream just a tiny bit, but now it's here. And now really pay attention a bit because this is gonna be a lot of information to take in. So let's go, guys. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
This
Let's
is
go
gonna be
обмазываться.
taking quite a bit of time now, but I think you guys will enjoy
Что
that.
там?
So we
Что
try to
там?
record a couple of videos for different ammo types as we go through them. A couple. I'll start off obviously just talking about like the pros and cons, why we do this, and
Ну я могу себе иногда позволить.
As well as just trying to outline a little bit in terms of how we approach balancing.
Ну мне хотя бы знать, а как это, против чего мне воевать? Хотя бы с этой стороны. Одним глазком.
Weapon system and as such has a core impact on the gunplay and the core gameplay. So that's something that we took very seriously as we designed this and built this. And we deep dive a little bit step by step into this.
Еще минус
big feature that we released
походу из-за этих припасов еще минус 10 FPS со старта.
Definitely. And this is gonna be a game changer, so pay a lot of attention.
Как вейдить?
So, Dennis, why did we add custom ammo?
Because we can. No, seriously, custom ammo has been on our radar for a very long time. It was something that we envisioned in our very first concepts for the game.
минус 1000 баланс, минус 10 FPS.
Customization that the players can express themselves with, like by having like talent variations and
баланса которого нет.
As well as
баланс уже давно в минус ушел.
Second part, and we kind of parked that for the initial release because obviously going into early access means you will never have all the features in from the get-go, right? You build that up as you go, and the custom ammo was just one of the items on the list that we felt strong about, but we just didn't have a chance to work on before. So we're very happy that we finally have a chance to release this and add it to the game as it was originally also concepted and meant to be. Now, what does custom ammo mean? So technically, custom ammo is
Ну,
is
это
just
уже
a
план
filter, right?
придумал.
Like, so you apply it to a
Ну, ты
weapon,
тал
and
сдаешь.
then this weapon now shoots this
Ты же не
different
посмотрел,
custom
как они
ammunition
работают.
type. Like Hunt doesn't have an inventory management system. We don't
Может, там
count
будет
bullets
хитрая фича.
between
После
missions
первого
and
сжигательного второй
require
не
you
может зажигать.
to either craft or buy or whatever in stock them up. Like we're not on that level of micromanagement.
И
For us,
превращается
it's still more
в
the matches in
говной.
the focus. That means you go into the mission and your ammunition is full. You leave the mission, it doesn't matter how much you have left. Next time you go back inside, the ammunition is still full. So that's why basically it's just a modifier that sits on top. We can maybe just quickly show this one video just to get started, how it actually looks in the menu.
Sure, let's do that. Let's take a look at the menu then.
Ну-ка. Оп, берем.
So as you can see there, like on the right side, next to each of the weapons, you have these additional slots. And in these slots, you can basically then choose from available ammunition types for a particular weapon, and you can slot them in for an extra fee. And then they replace the basic ammunition in that particular weapon when you go into the next round. You can always unslot them, and like ammunition isn't lost. So if you just unslot them and you just have one piece of that ammunition in your inventory, you can put into a different weapon at a later time, just if it were like basically another piece of equipment that you own. So it allows you to kind of customize and tailor your equipment a little bit more towards your playstyle. So that's, I think, one of the biggest important things here, that custom ammo is a side grade, not an upgrade. It's not meant to replace the default ammunition. It's meant to give you options and choices, but they come at a certain price. So as we later on go through all the different ammunition types, you will see like what a particular ammunition type will actually bring and give you, maybe as a cool new technique, as a tactical opportunity, but also what it costs you in terms of like maybe you lose wall penetration, or maybe there's something that gives away your position better. Like there's always a trade-off associated with it, so that overall the balance of the custom ammunition is very flat, and it's more about specialization, so that players can choose.
Видишь, можно по одной пуле носить. Буду с собой одну пулю носить. Серебряную, блядь.
For PvE, that's why maybe I use a bit more poison ammunition or something like that, right? Again, we go through the details in a minute. The idea is that you can very much tailor this to your playstyle, but it doesn't supersede, it doesn't replace the basic ammunition. Like I think most people will still go into the BU with basic ammo, at least on one or two of the weapons, and you will see that certain specialized loadouts, they will start using these custom ammo builds. Obviously, some players will just go full ammo, and that's perfectly fine as well. Just like having every weapon has a different ammo type on them. But I think once the initial hype settled down a little bit, like after the tester period, and we see like the meta to calm down again, I think you will see that they will find their place in the game, but they will not be like that every weapon is going to be like an explosive bullet or something like that, right? Like it's going to be special use, specific cases where people will add that ammunition to their loadouts in order to maybe just get a gameplay advantage, or maybe just because they really enjoy playing with that.
So it basically just opens up a lot of new opportunities to play your way, which has always been like one of the goals in Hunt, that you can take whatever you really want and make it work in the game, and you're not really in disadvantage compared to others, even though it may be like a weaker weapon or something, and now you even have more options. With the custom ammo, we have already also added some new ammo supply boxes, which replaced the older ones, and these are larger and come with special ammo, since the custom ammo is special ammo.
Мечтал, можно на халяву будет найти, походу. Или оно только восполняет то, что с собой можешь.
Yeah, you can. There's a bit more to it. So in general, we have the special ammo packs right currently on live, which are the purple packs that feed ammunition to the Dalt, crossbow, the nitro, like all the weapons that use special ammunition. We have removed those. They do not exist in the game anymore with 1.5, and instead we have added these slightly bigger boxes to replace them. So you will still be able to find those boxes in the compounds just as normally, randomly seated, right? And they only hold minimally more ammunition than the old packs did, but they're more visible, they're more prominent, and it makes more sense for some of the bigger ammunition types to actually be physically placed inside of them rather than the small little cartridge packs, right? I mean, it was always a bit weird even with the crossbow bolts fitting into the small packs. So we just did a pass on that, so it feels easier to spot, nicer to just like place them in the world. And to the point that you just raised there, BD, you also have a guaranteed spot now with supply points where you can always find one box lying around. Now, people might at first go like, but the Dolch is going to get more ammo now. No,
People
it's
are already
not.
saying that, yes.
It's not. Okay, I was expecting that.
Yes.
Now, to fuse that, it's not actually, because there is a lot more mouths to feed now. There's a lot more competition when it comes to the custom ammunition. So that I think those people who at the moment are very rarely getting contested on their special ammunition pickups now actually have more players with special ammunition requirements because they bring custom ammunition that might have taken away some of these boxes already by the time you get there. So I think if you take a look at the numbers there, you will see actually that probably you have a reduction in ammunition, extra ammunition availability. Again, depending on how many people bring special ammunition required weapons through custom ammo.
And we will have an image of it in just a second after this slide, so don't worry guys, we will show how it looks. And yeah, so for the custom ammo, as it's a huge change, we needed a lot of balancing on it, obviously, because it changes basically the whole gameplay, and I hope Dennis can explain a bit about that.
So as you know, like we normally when we release a new update, we're on the test server for like a week or two, depending on the issues we find, the feedback we get, etc. And that's still very much true with this update. However, we felt that this would not be enough from a balancing perspective to really be on the safe side when it comes to custom ammo, just because it is
их будет также, наверное, херово найти, как и эти фиолетовые патроны. Когда они нужны, хер найдешь. Когда не надо, просто в каждом углу валяются.
2 weeks of test server is not going to be enough for that. That will be the
balancing.
So what we did is we started reaching out to some people inside the community.
Фанбоев приглашаете в тестеры?
Office times because the playtesting had to happen while we at work, right? And we had a couple of sessions over the last weeks with them where we basically exposed them to the custom ammo and the new weapons, and just got a lot of feedback from them, and had play sessions together, observing and making sure that we can get more days of actual feedback out of this before it even goes on a test server, to make sure that we're already in a very good position balancing wise, and we don't just throw this out there and then just basically everything explodes. So yeah, again, thank you very much to the testers. I mean, it's up to them if they want to step forward, whether they have been involved with this or not. They're allowed to talk about it, and actually would be very much appreciated.
Как это вообще стреляет?
Experts on the matter, which means you can trust their word when they tell you about certain things, certain problems, certain things they really like, and just in general how they feel about this. So yeah, maybe look out to your favorite streamers or in general like community members that might share their insights on this. It might just give you maybe a bit of a head start on this whole topic, as you then obviously familiarize yourselves by actually playing yourself on the server and getting used to them. So yeah, big thanks again to the testers. It's something we want to expand on in the future, definitely, because it has been a very positive experience for all of us. And I think the testers also very much enjoyed it.
Great.
Yeah, and as Dennis said, when it goes on test server, make sure you also leave your feedback to us as always, because especially in this case, it's super important. So
yes. So when this goes on test server, expect it to be overwhelming at first, right? There is a lot to go through. You will not be able to just like get the full picture in one session, right? You will need to come back to this a couple of times, which I hope you'll do, because test server is awesome and you should play it more because it helps us. But also because just like the amount of things you have to learn and getting practical exposure, like being the one who kills with it, but also being the one on the receiving end, that can teach you so much if you run through this a couple of times, and it allows you to basically get an actual understanding of how maybe this affects the balancing, or what is good, what is risky about it. So this is something that I can only stress out again and again and again. It's like, take your time with new features.
Я вот каждый раз, когда они вот эту хуйку делают, я вот всегда поражаюсь вот сугубо для людей, которые как бы стреляют в голову, да? Ну, в большую часть времени стараются выстрелить в голову и попасть в голову. Вот какую, вот, блядь, вот что для них вот эти вот обновы всякие несут? Кроме как ни хера.
Exactly, and as you can see, or maybe even figured it out by now, that in
Несколько раз говорит, блядь, на сервер надо зайти, ты сразу не поймешь, это надо пощупать, поиграться. Покажи, как это работает. For example, давай. Bleeding shotgun, да.
Yeah. Or also like the balancing pass we did for the compact ammunition like last year, right? All of these things have been in preparation for custom ammo. Custom ammo as a development feature has been with us for quite some time.
Из разряда, ну, блядь, в Таркове же 1,5 часа нас собираются, и пусть у нас собираются хотя бы.
But it's something that has
5
influenced all
минут.
of the decisions that we've made over last patches already leading up to this release today. So it's not just a quick tag on, oh, let's make some custom ammo types and throw them
Им еще вручную
out.
заряжать
It's actually
Винфилд
something which has
сделать.
been growing with the
В
game
меню.
internally for over a year now, and is therefore very carefully put together from our side.
Мне уже поздно от этой мысли уходить. Я уже старый для всего этого дерьма. Я вырос на имя в голову. Ки 2.
A picture of the new ammo box. It's still a bit purple, guys, so don't worry. It's still there, but it's way bigger and you can recognize it much better.
Yeah, it has some American Hunter Association scripture on it on the top with the white
в руках труба.
So the silhouette, so you can
Неспроста.
a little bit nicer. So that this is nothing that the farmers that kind of defended Devon or whatever like
Трубой, походу, больше
were
лутается.
gathering as they got overrun. This is stuff that like the hunters actually brought into this world properly because that's like their special ammunition.
Everyone is saying it says uwu like that, a little cute face, which is kind of true. So guys, you will always think of something cute when you refill your special ammo, so that's great. Okay, but let's dive a bit deeper into custom ammo, starting with the different weapon types, and then we will dive into the actual ammunition types. So stick with us, guys, and let's first talk about the crossbows. So basic, you can.
Just maybe sorry to jump in there quickly as a starting point. So I think we'd first talk about the crossbows because I think that's the easiest way to explain the new ammo system. I mean, we do at the moment on live have several crossbow variations, right? Like we have.
Кроссбоу в игре изейший путь попробовать любое аммо, блядь. Ты ебанутый? Ты до этого кроссбоу сначала докачайся через одноручные кроссбоу.
So as we now introduce custom ammo, these variations are
простейший путь.
They're going away.
Не, нахуй надо.
And they will be replaced with
Пощупаем на реальном сервере.
For the respective custom ammo types. So that means basically, as someone maybe
Я боюсь, я не выдержу.
a particular legendary skin for your crossbow, you can actually equip like whatever ammunition you like on that legendary skin also, right? So people were always asking, when do we get like a legendary shot bolt? Like that's the reason why you didn't. That's the reason why we kept it from you. It's because there's no need for it, because you will be able to use every basic legendary crossbow with all of that new ammunition. And yeah, before we speculate further about the OVU or whatever, I think the scripture actually says AHA, which means American Hunter Association.
Oh, so wow. That's well, like I didn't know it looked that cute when you typed out in the Hunt characters, but
hey, that's all masquerade of the American Hunter Association.
So the second category is the single shot weapons, which can actually have 2 ammo slots at the same time. So this obviously also includes crossbows, and maybe if you paid attention in the little video we showed you before, you could see that for the crossbow you could choose 2 different types of ammunition.
Yeah, so this is like actually
Что, получается, всего только 2 типа, можно, грубо говоря, 3. Один дефолтный, 2 на выбор.
Each of them can now choose whether it just wants to continue using one ammunition type, and then nothing really changes so much, or if they maybe want to split the extra ammunition pool between up to 2 different types. So on the example of the crossbow, that means you can now take a couple of regular bolts with you for your silence gameplay, and you still bring a couple of explosive bolts or a couple of shot bolts, whatever you like, right? So you can combine these things, and that expands like to the other weapons as well that are single shot, like the Romero, the Springfield, the Martini Henry, the Sparks. They all benefit from it in the same way.
Bob Spark's gonna be pretty crazy, I can tell.
Yeah, just it goes in with the whole concept of adding flexibility, right? Players have a chance to finally
Смена на X.
pick not just one type then, but also like multiple for maybe
Если
different
мне
players.
на
They
X
might bring one
стоит
ammunition
на
that's more
этом,
for the PvE part, for example, like just like maybe poison
ну или
again or
масс
something like that.
сменить режим,
And then maybe
что
bring
делать?
one for either support role or maybe against players. So then being able to just like tactically swap between them based on situations, I think that's going to be very strong.
Блять, они даже тут мне управление
And as you can see
заруинили.
on the screen, you can actually swap these kinds of weapons with X, like you would do on the Lamont or the Lantern. So you can switch between the ammo types just like that. And I think we also have a little video to demonstrate that for you guys.
О, видео пошло. Оп, выкинул, вставил.
As you can see, like you just press the X button on any of the single shot weapons.
Хера себе он
and then,
резкий.
if you have two ammunition types, you can basically just like replace one for the other quickly.
Pretty cool. That explosion in the beginning though.
Yeah, so yeah, pressing X is the way to swap this. Just as you would be doing it on a Lamont, for example.
Yeah, so by default it's X, but
yeah, you can obviously rebind it, but it's the same weapon functionality.
Alright, and let's take a look at the last category we have here, which is obviously the other weapons that are not crossbows or single shot weapons. I mean, yeah, so everything else. And they can only have one type of ammunition compared to the previous ones.
Yeah, so you're kind of dedicated. Like if you want to use like a specific ammunition type on a shotgun, that's gonna be the one type you have, and you're kind of committed with that. So the single shot weapons really get like a lot of advantage by having a chance to have two. But that doesn't mean that just running on with one is less
один
lethal,
тип.
Like,
Столько патронов добавит, а я один тип с собой бери.
You can make a lot of damage with that.
Что за ущемление?
Before we go into
Мне кажется, меня ущемляют.
types in detail. So how does the unlocking, etc. work? Maybe you can talk about that. So I mentioned this a little bit with the crossbow that the crossbow variations go away and instead are being replaced with ammo entries, and that's going to be the same thing for all of the ammunition types. They will be basically becoming additional unlock variations that you kind of like grind your weapon to. That are placed between some of the existing variations or at the end of the line. And as you play with these weapons, you will start unlocking the corresponding ammunition. So like not every ammunition type is available for every weapon. So it's kind of like per weapon basis, just like you don't have like a sniper scope on every gun. Like it's something that we still kind of decide like what weapons should have what type of ammunition in terms of helping with the balance overall, rather than having to balance against every possibility. But what we made sure is that we adjusted some of the existing unlock XP gates, like how many XP you have to accumulate for an unlock, by placing those in between. So it's not just like that everything just is going to take longer to unlock. No, we've actually taken away some of the XP.
А вы заметили, что они любые новые пушки, любые вот даже патроны никогда не показывают на каком-нибудь рандомном охотнике с full HP? Там всегда какой-нибудь говно ПВЕшное. Они никогда не показывают дамаг по охотнику. Чтобы не было преждевременного возгорания, походу.
So keep in mind the unlocks are organized in a way that they are based on what we call a weapon family, right? So like the normal Winfield C is a family, but also the Winfield's 1873, like the long tube version, is also a family on its own. So these two weapons, they might both have, for example, incendiary ammunition, but you will have to unlock the incendiary ammunition for each of these weapon families separately. The same for like the Nagant and the Nagant officer, right? Like they're similar weapons, and when they're similar weapons, we try to give them still the same ammunition options, but you need to unlock them for each of these families separately, just as you would unlock the variations.
Awesome. So I think it's time to dive into each type of bullet, or not just bullet, but shells and
now the fun
balls.
starts.
Yes, now guys, oh my god.
We drink some water.
Yes, quickly, everyone. We all know that Dennis actually drinks beer, but just disguises it as water.
No, it's clear. It could only be vodka then, I guess, or gin.
Sure. Oh, just like that, nice. Okay. So, let's go to
Лучше бы ты водку жрал каждый раз. Было бы хоть какое-то объяснение всем патчам.
I don't think we have to read the descriptions for this because we will go into more detail. Or should we?
Yeah. It's up to you, but you don't need to.
Yeah, because we basically tell the same thing. So guys, you can just read it, pause it if you want, screenshot it. But we will go through each point anyway and show you videos of each, and it will be very long if you read everything out. So let's just keep it as compact as we can. So the memo, it's it causes bleeding.
Yeah, so what is a dum-dum bullet? Dum-dum bullet is basically what in the past you would have called maybe a split point, and in more modern times is closer to what like a hollow point round would be. So it's basically an expanding type of bullet that has like the behavior to deform on impact or splinter on impact, and therefore it kind of creates bigger wounds, right? Like it has more stopping power because of it, and in the game that's represented by having this additional bleeding effect on them. It doesn't have, however, an additional effect against AI, because I mean AI kind of like, if you took a look at some of them, like they don't even have heads anymore, right? Like so they don't care so much about bleeding out. You kill them in different means, and as such, like that weakens actual punch you get from a dum-dum round is more of a thing for, that AI is just more resilient against it, because like it doesn't really matter whether you sever an artery with them or something like that. They won't care too much about this. So this is purposely designed as a anti-player round.
Yeah, so exactly, it has no additional effect against AI because it's against player, and it has no penetration and causes reduced damage. But the bleeding effect stacks on Hunter like every other bleeding effect in the game.
Yeah, so you can kind of like force people into cover with this. Obviously, it might open up opportunities for you to just push through. At distance, it's just going to be an inconvenience, because like just like being hit at a far distance doesn't cause that much bleeding, right? So you can quickly heal as a way by just like diving behind cover, maybe even in the open. But it's something that obviously up close, or if you get hit multiple times, like can result even in a strong bleed, and then it really puts some pressure on, as you can see in a video in a second. I think one of the biggest drawbacks for this, however, is the lack of wall penetration. It's something that we'll see with a couple of ammunition types moving forward in the list today. I think people if they might not even think so much about wall penetration. It's just part of the game, right? And people use it. But the moment it's gone, the moment you cannot even penetrate a thin wooden wall anymore, like a fence or something like that, it really starts to become very obvious to you that you're missing something. And as a drawback, the lack of wall penetration, I think, is something that you should not underestimate. So dum-dum ammunition, while giving you the bleeding effect and while being great for pressuring, are very specialized, and they have this huge drawback of not being able to reach through cover. So you need that clear line of sight, and that makes them also a bit situational.
And we have multiple videos to show you of the dum-dum memo, so let's just take a look at the first one.
О, наконец-то на охотники покажут. Давай. Оп, такой типа ищет его. Ага.
You can see like one hit, so the guy has to bandage up a little bit. Hit him one more time. No, he's pressured, and
yes.
So in this particular case, for example, I mean, these are set piece recordings, right? This is not from an actual game, so obviously this is all fake, and we're pretending and trying to give examples. However, what's interesting about this example is that the second hit, for example, left the guy, and I think it was me actually in this case, with just below 5 hit points, and that means I had to remain on the healing. I had to remain on it, so that there was nothing I could do there. If I would have let go of the button to get my weapon out, I would have died from bleeding. So that's why I had to accept the punch with a nutcracker. But the first hit, for example, was just a little bit of bleeding, so I was able to pull back from it. I would not have needed to instantly bandage, and that was a tactical mistake here in this situation. I should have maybe just like eaten that damage a little bit for a moment and accepted I will just bleed for a bit to finish the fight, but I did not.
Там же было написано not reduce damage. Два патрона, все нахер. Сразу, автоматом. Оп, вышли damage.
Yeah, so this is how it looks in the
Сотка прошла.
Nice. People are very disappointed that we are faking the videos, Dennis.
Here comes Frikadelle with a drop kick.
Вот тебе 110 прошло и сразу брит повешали. Просто это моментум шот. То есть 2 блит патрона в тебя, ты все, уехал.
Keep in mind that, like, so,
на спарку, ну я не знаю. Но если они на спарку делают блит патрон, то, конечно, будет пиздец.
And that means you still have quite some time in order to
stop. Там надо будет таким этим делать.
Finish the fight.
Да, классно.
That, even if you're
Ты видишь, как они играют? Это просто, ну, хер знает.
Yeah, in this particular case, we wanted to have that call jump attack. So keep in mind that if you have Bloodless as a trait, for example, that has a very strong impact here, right? Because Bloodless never goes.
Там кого-то расстреляли уже за кадром.
Having Bloodless on your hunter means that you're much more resistant against the pressure from dum-dum rounds, so might be something to consider for this.
Да, если ты no reducing damage, любой патрон на спарке и шот по тебе, это моментум смерти.
Are they calling you Bleedy Boy, if I get this right?
Bleedy Boy. Like from now on, I guess, yes. But I hope not Dum Dum, though.
No, please. That's preserved for me. That's my name. Actually, quite little.
Ну, не знаю, он ребятам весело. Они в воду пьют. Ну, пока, мне кажется, пора это заказывать. Отпивание. Судя по файту на паксах, где они в лесу бились, по их уровню игры я понимаю, почему они такие патчи делают. Я не понимаю, почему они комьюнити не слушают. Ну, более-менее, кто играет в эту игру. Там-то понятно, что им надо и блиды в пуле, и это яд, и огонь, и время на перевязку там будет, и все будет достаточно.
Bullet tip, like projectile tip, in the weapon, and as such, obviously,
greatly increase penetration. Вообще.
Has a much more power as it impacts, and what it means is like
автоматная лента подъехала.
Means you can actually punch through walls that maybe the normal weapon, if you don't have a full metal jacket ammunition on it, cannot pass through.
Ну теперь зато гарантированно вдаль Винфилд будет давать шот. Два хита, двуххитный этот. Двуххитную смерть. До 100 метров, по идее, должен давать.
Meters per second, which is already on the lower end, like that drops to like 200 something or so. So like at distance, you will have to lead targets much more drastically.
Насколько он, интересно, increase penetration? Типа, если я с одного угла карты это lucky shot дам в другой конец, он grid penetrating кого-нибудь на другом конце, нет? Ну-ка. Ох, блядь, пошел экшон пошел. Охотник рядом. Ага. Так, Hunter's coming. Что делать? Ёпту, вот он. Ай-яй-яй. Ой-ой-ой. Зачем? Воевать не надо. Походу, это лайв. Не, это запись. Это что, он показывает, насколько тестит пуля? Ну-ка еще раз покажи. Я ни хера не понял. Еще раз смотрим.
Right, very basic round, and what you can do if you put a full metal jacket in, at least within these short distances here, right? It actually has a lot more punch. So you can technically turn
две стены вообще в раз, да, шьет.
Just from a penetration perspective, but obviously not at range. At range, the full metal jacket also doesn't pierce that much, right? Just it retains this pierceability for a very short distance only. But if you're, for example, fighting
это весело, по мнению разработчиков.
Of some sort, or here, like the tower, etc. Like this is when you can really.
А это что показывает нам?
But at distance, especially with a slower bullet speed, also this becomes more of an issue.
Чего? А, охуенно. Металл шьет. Заебись. Чего нет?
Yeah, so like this is the important part here, like the full metal jacket rounds.
Охуеть, бронебойки подъехали.
But only obviously at a very short distances. Like if you were to fire at this tower from a distance with the pistols, they would just basically ricochet off. There's no chance. But close range, you have a bit more option now to pressure and give people.
Интересно, а землеройные пули добавят, чтобы прям пеньки прошивать вот эти вот землю, чтобы.
That metal sheet here would have been just perfect cover, but now it's not.
Просто прошибает нахер металл. По full дамагу, да, прошивает? Типа low reducing? Ну-ка, сколько он дал дамага через стену? Через металлическую? Охуеть. 90 дам... Это low reducing? Просто 90 дамага через металл повешал. Ну это меньше ли то? Slide damage reduction.
There's maybe a point to bring up here. It's something I think we wanted to talk about when we went through the full list, but it might actually make sense because I can see some of the discussions in the chat. Custom ammo types are special ammunition. That means all of them, like each of these types, has an inbuilt basically drawback on its own, and that is.
Единственное оправдание носить такие патроны, ты за них будешь отваливать там 1,5 косаря за ленту.
Not bring stun ammunition, but to bring instead any of the custom ammunition types. Your behavior of reloading will be the same as, for example, if you had the Dolce or Nitro.
Да, думаю, качнуть 50-й хоть. От этого рандома. Больше рандома, богу рандома. Пиздец, конечно. Что еще есть? О, да.
In practice, you will be out of ammunition after that, and then you will have quite a hard time to find ammunition unless you brought an ammo box yourself. So that drawback of not having like a reliable ammunition source will be a very strong limiting factor for everything.
Нытики наныли. Не могу убить никого, блядь. Я знаю, что там сидит человек, а как выцелить голову не могу. Но я знаю, что он за железкой сидит. Дайте мне пробить железку.
So, as a comparison to the other two, this
has
highly increased bullet speed. Obviously increased recoil for the price as a negative, and it's more PvP focused as the bullet travels way quicker than normally.
PvP фокусит ее. А до этого не PvP фокусит. Учитывая то, что все патроны, которые новое аммо, оно как бы не блит, не вешается на АИ. Бронебойки на АИ вешать, нахуй надо. А вот этот PvP фокусит. Сука.
Even a high velocity one that is just a high velocity.
Ну, ко скольки попапа это пригонять? Во сколько отпевать будем?
See like can boost, for example, like things like a Winfield marksman, right? Like so all of a sudden you have a chance to just like lead targets differently with this. So the boost in speed here means that it basically almost goes up one. So like if the Winfield has like 400 something meters a second velocity by default with the compact ammunition, with a high velocity round it goes up to like I think roughly 600 or so around or 500 something.
Они реально в своей Америке-то живут. Ну просто я не понимаю. Как вот взять и сказать, это круто.
Leading like a Mosin Nagant or Lebel rifle or and also the new Centennial Winfield that we're releasing with this update. So it just gives people a chance to maybe just like move between different weapons of the same.
Да и в тройках первый на фокусе сразу нахуй уходит. Грубо говоря. Кто первый тройку увидит из противоположной тройки, тот и ляжет как бы все.
Awesome. And before we move on to the video,
покажите PvP фокусит.
The full metal jacket can penetrate hunters or not?
The full metal jacket cannot penetrate hunters, but we'll talk more about something that can later.
То есть металлические листы она прошивает, а хантера как бы нет. Ну окей, ладно. Хороший вопрос.
Yeah, so in this case, we use the carbine, officer carbine. So you can see there, like basically the shooting behavior, like it's not guaranteed, but it's a little bit easier to lead a target. But obviously, with just that limited amount of extra ammunition that this weapon has,
как вам PvP фокусит?
You better make those shots count because it's hard gonna.
Как вам PvP фокусит? Ёб твою мать. Ёб твою мать. Это записи тестеров, это даже, я так понимаю.
Right. I think that was, especially in the beginning, you could see that it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, like even that is like a distance. Probably a good shot wouldn't have any issue with.
Типа small ammo, типа почти в точку уже летит на прицеле.
It adds it as an option. I think it's a powerful option for sure.
То есть вообще никакого упреждения теперь почти не надо брать нигде. Понятно. Понятно, понял, принял. Я же PvP фокусит.
It can be powerful, but I think from a balancing perspective, that's something we have to see on test server then, if people will use it or if it just gets, basically it becomes a sideshow.
Awesome. Our next category is the poison ammo, which we may have teased on social media before. And as you may expect, this ammo is poisonous and it can kill all the monsters silently and instantly. Or not all, but most of them, because some are resistant to poison, so obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is what we call more of a
Как
PvE
пуля
round.
выстрелила, может silently убивать.
To be more effective against the monsters. Obviously, there's still use for it against other hunters, but I think you can agree that, like, especially for players who like stealth, like this is going to be a major upgrade because like you can basically, without even doing headshots, like if you just
будут тебе нагло писать в теме, слышь, плати.
The poison will come to effect and you dies and falls over.
Слышь, плати.
So this is going to be very, very powerful, and it's again something that many of these custom ammo types that we talk about today have is like they're actually very powerful.
Они нигде про свой ПВЕ не забывают. Вообще, вы его меньше сделаете, и не нужны будет poison ammo.
Use a precious poison round, of which you have only so many with
No
you, right?
penetration.
Like against a grunt. Sure, do it. But I think it comes down to being careful and picking your
Единственное правильное за весь стрим разработчиков предложение. No penetration, пожалуйста.
Again, here a big drawback is that because of like it has this little like poison capsule in the front, it kind of like shatters on impact. It means that these things do not penetrate through walls. So just like the
то есть два патрона точно теперь 100% килл на ханте.
That is built into this, that you have to have line of sight. So against players is a big drawback because you can't just like poison spam into a compound, into a boss lair, for example.
Do crows die from it?
Not from that, because that is just an individual. You would be able to technically poison one crow and the others would still fly away. So we do not simulate that because they're just one entity, the whole murder of crows. But so in the end they would not like be affected by this because they would still startle. But there is another poison thing we're going to talk about later that actually can do that.
Yeah, just the last point to mention is that the poison affects hunters as other poison damage would. So it just similar.
I mean, the level of poison again comes down to what type of ammunition it is. Like a compact poison poisons less than, for example, if you would have like a long bullet, like the Sparks, for example, can have poison rounds, and that obviously is going to be a much stronger effect. Well, let's see a couple of examples in the videos.
Yeah, so let's just take it. And we actually have a bunch of videos of this one, so this will be against AI.
Это по их...
Most of these special ammo times have a bit of reduced damage. Like the dum-dum is most.
Это по их мнению silent kill.
To begin with. So you can see like here, like even something like an.
А почему бы вот просто вот разработчикам нет, ну, допустим, хоть раз в своей жизни не выстрелить в голову?
So I think like something maybe new players, especially also solo players, might appreciate. Just it gives you a lot more options to quickly dispatch of some of the maybe more harassing AI types.
Oh my god, that's so nice against the emulator.
And it's poison, so you don't pierce the skin. It doesn't penetrate, so that's why it doesn't go up in flames.
Физика сил не слышали. Хотя не, вон они вроде падают, как подкошенные.
You can see that with a dual pistols, a dual gun silencer. You just may want to pause it for a sec. With a dual silencer, since you only need to hit the legs or any body part, like it's.
У вас видео зависло.
Just like in a dual setup, because as long as you hit him anywhere, they still get the damage from it.
А, нет, не зависло. Ну-ка.
So this one here is just like an example of PvP. It just shows a little bit like, okay, that even like something simple as a wooden wall can actually be quite a bit of a advantage for you. So like the guy in the inside that doesn't have poison, so he can just easily shoot out, while the one with the poison ammunition is struggling. And it actually shows one more thing. So if you see
второй же шот с яда вешает эффект яда, и он у тебя отнимает ХП. Это же верно? Я правильно понимаю?
Because it's a poison round. It just shatters against the outside. It doesn't ignite anything. So poison ammunition cannot blow up barrels. Again, like this is like the most professional firefight ever in Hunt, right? Like this is true to life from the servers. It's like prestige 100 players right there. Obviously, we're trying to make a point by showcasing the scenario. This is
я понимаю правильно, это вот вот если так играть в Хант, то ну как бы ну окей.
Oh, look, the guy wants to basically shoot at the guy, wants to even take a chance at the barrel, doesn't even manage to get the lamp, uses another different weapon in the end. So it's you have to hit people with it. You won't be able to blow up any of the barrels, like so additional tricks, etc. are going to be tough. Now here,
но он раз всего шот дал с яда же.
And in this particular case, bam.
Again, a gun slap. Wow.
Yeah, they happened quite a bit during recording. So yeah, it's just again just to prove the point, like.
И там, ну, с первого хита хп не сню. Там же после 2 хитов, по-моему, этот экстра перестрелка. Сексуально, я бы сказал. Too much sexy for this game.
Because that just glass the shatters, right? But and there's already a flame in it, but the barrels no chance.
Smack. I love that. And we have a last video.
Yeah, so this is like with the sparks with a poison round in it. It's just as a regular round here. Now he's swapping out for a poison round.
Спарк с поизоном, это, конечно, прикольно. Просто по чуваку оставляешь 1 хп, он ни хера не видит, и еще орет, визжит, пищит, как этот, бегает по карте. Ой, бля, какой же ты.
Awesome. So that was the poison ammo, guys.
Awesome.
And we can move on to the next one. And by the way, guys, you can ask all the questions at the very end of the stream, and we will try to answer everything.
Чё это? А это чё? А, ну, наверное, поджигающий.
Do me a favor and pronounce the name of this ammo, because I can never do that. So
now I have the pressure on me. But thanks. As far as I'm concerned, this is called incendiary ammunition.
Thank you. Like in the preparation for the stream, I tried to say it like 5 times, but I failed each time, so I just let Dennis do the honor.
I don't think it's called incendiary with the journal. It's also not called incendiary like the milk. So incendiary, I think, is the way you pronounce it.
Incendiary. Предлагаю incendiary.
Well, some people
хватайте крайтики, записывайте.
They're probably trolls. So. So this ammo burns hunters' health bars and sets them on fire slowly, and it stacks up like all other
Просто
fire damage in the
стакается,
game.
нормально.
So as you can tell, this is a very fiery ammo.
Назар, национализм за это, за дверью оставляем, пожалуйста. Спасибо.
Incendiary, they say. Incendiary. Well, no one agrees on this.
The flame bullet, yeah.
Exactly, and it sets monsters on fire. Sorry guys, my cat came.
Это бред.
And again, it has reduced damage and no penetration, just as before with the poison ammo.
Yeah.
Which had no penetration again.
Нахуй вышел.
But this set things on fire, so.
Yeah, so this is actually interesting. Like, if you remember a very long time ago, some of the veterans might remember that. I think we removed this around the 1.0 changes. The long ammo was.
Спасибо, пожалуйста. Дверь закрой.
Сюда не пищи, бля. От тебя, блядь, говной воняет даже. Отсюда телефона чувствую, бля.
And that allowed obviously people to do ambushes by just using an uppercut to like blow up a barrel where the hunter is passing by. We removed that at one point for balancing reasons. That was also in having in mind that we want to introduce the flame bullets, and as such,
ну тут тоже 2 хита пошел нахуй.
This feature is now coming back with that, because as you know already systemically, if you ignite something in the game, like you shoot a flare pistol at the barrel or you throw a lantern at it, it blows up instantly. And the same is happening with the incendiary bullets, where it basically goes up instantly, so you can use it as an ambush round.
Нормальные люди, нет? Вот такие вот. Я не понимаю таких вообще.
Especially useful for a weapon that cannot shoot twice. So it sets obviously monsters on fire instantly, but it has reduced damage, and again, no penetration. Like that incendiary tip kind of like shatters up on impact because it's hollowed out with the fuel, so it does have like no penetration on it, and allows you to use that. So I think this is It's predominantly a nice thing for PvE, but also has a very strong application, I think, actually for PvP, because it can be just like the poison and the dum-dum rounds. It can be a pressure round where you can.
Переписка классная. Mostly used for PvE. Окей, ну да.
The ignition against players is so that no single hit should ever ignite a player instantly. Right, you need at least a second hit to do that.
Два хита с Венинга, человек просто умер.
However, and maybe the anecdote here is the grunt with the torches.
Нормально.
So we have refactored the fire damage with the intensity patch we did like some time ago. I think it was beginning last year, and where we introduced like strong burn, the charcoaling, that type of stuff. Now, how the system works on live at the moment is that if you get hit by a grunt, he will just charcoal you a little bit.
Кстати, интересно, они вот трупы поджигают.
He will hit you again. The second time, you will start burning. So it basically means there's like an invisible intensity meter that goes up with every time you get this type of fire damage, and eventually at one point you reach the threshold where it says, okay, now please start burning. Secondary bullets, the thing is that the player will always remain below that threshold with a single hit, but if he gets another hit within, I think it's 8 seconds, then obviously he will continue spiking that up and he will start setting himself on fire. So either you have to stay behind cover or you have to take the risk there, just like with poison where you can't heal, or just like with the dum-dum rounds where there might be a certain penalty for bleeding on you. So it's a different type of pressuring, but I think there's one other thing which actually is the most impressive about this, and I think that's the visuals. So let's have a look at the videos.
Интересно, они к патчу 1.6 додумаются, как в Таркове, разные патроны заряжать? Чтобы людям было проще ачивку получить. Там блит, огонь, яд. 3 патрона подряд.
Then so that should be rather safe. There's nothing to worry about when it comes to burning hunters with incendiary ammunition.
Awesome, and as Dennis said, then let's just take a look how it actually looks in game. Obviously night map, so you can see it better.
So here there's like the ambush mechanic, so you just like fire this, and obviously meter goes up directly. Just a very quick small example. I think we just see it again, but then we can go to the other.
Wow.
So it's just like this functionality that used to
Бочка
be on
теперь ваншотит с этим патроном. Обалдеть. Да ладно.
So this is how it looks when you just fire at AI. So you can set like little candles alight across the map. And one thing that doesn't come across so nicely here in first person is obviously that there is a visible tracer.
Может, что за бред, а?
There's actually like a proper tracer being fired out, and that's.
Покажите файт между охотниками, пожалуйста. И 2 хита подряд с этих патронов я хочу посмотреть. Самого лоу-дамажащего ствола. Барнхейма дайте 2 хита. О, кстати, с этими патронами этот Барнхейм заиграет. Причем с любыми из этих патронов. Я понял, зачем они ввели их, эти вот патроны. Чтобы оживить именно его.
Again, like if you want to use incendiary ammunition for purpose like igniting grunts, be my guest, but it's a bit of a waste of ammunition probably. As you can see here, like at daytime, the tracer, like it's basically just like 2 people with incendiary ammunition firing at each other a little bit in a mock battle. So you can see like this is 1 hit, so just.
Опа! Ну вот все, это да, это ГГ. Ваншот ГГ.
Just takes the normal time to recover.
Видите, сколько снимает? Там получается сколько? Еще 20 хп где-то уходит сразу в это, в уголь.
But obviously the disadvantage is that if you get hit multiple times, so in this case you got hit again, but enough time has passed, so you did not set yourself on fire. But now you get hit in a much quicker time, and now it's actually starting to get you on fire. So that's
Добрый вечер, тройки с огненными патронами.
Because that's obviously when you can get pressured quite a bit, and you have to be careful. The important part is again, every wall is safe. Even a wooden fence is safe against sheltering you against these rounds. So you just have to use cover also a little bit differently there.
Are you guys like mimicking stormtroopers right now with the laser weapon? And someone was asking if headshots insta kill with incendiary.
They do systemically, like so the damage is a bit reduced, so I guess also the effective range for headshots is slightly reduced, but if you hit them in the head at a certain distance, you still be able to kill them just like normally you would.
Классно, про хедшот спросили. Ну, да, но нет, ну да, но нет, ну да, ну там расстояние там зависит. Еще что-то. Ну да, давай. 100-метровой перестрелки, все, ваншоты везде, короче.
Like he was trying to uppercut rush me, and a like, crazy situation happens. And he chose wrong.
Aww. Dead by a grunt.
Show that one more time, maybe.
Oh, okay, we can go back. Oh.
Oh, no, stay here, stay here. It's too late. So, what the hell was that? So
we can figure it out again.
In this particular
Что
situation,
это был косой автоматчик?
Incendiary aftermath was trying to open up on us. There was a barrel right next to them. The barrel was ignited with our incendiary round and instantly died.
That's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Laser
automat.
Кто-нибудь видел таких автоматчиков, которые тебя ждут именно с этой точки? Которые по тебе даже шота первого не дают. На таком расстоянии. Ну, еще один. Блять, они все в тестерах у разработчиков. Все любители такой стрельбы с автомата. Блин, понятно.
And there goes the extra ammunition. Now it's back to the uppercut. Where did he go? Oh, he's reloading the defense.
Oh, and at least we get to see the death screen as well, how it works.
Damage history нажмите.
Maybe pause on when it finishes the next time.
Yeah.
So yeah, every round the tracer. So this is not like a modern machine gun where like every fifth round or maybe 2 and 5 is a tracer round. So obviously this is just like massive spraying in your direction. But the thing is like the moment he's emptied that at you, I mean, try to replenish like a full magazine of an aftermath with like special ammunition you find in the world. So you're probably never gonna see that weapon be fully loaded up until the end of the match. So, but it's very, very impressive. This is more of an example. It's more of a fun thing for the aftermath because practically it is not really that useful, right? You would probably use it for the regular Mosina guns, maybe on the uppercut as well as maybe like an Obras as a backup. On the aftermath, it works just because it's part of the same family. It has to be out of consistency, but it's more of a fun thing. Like,
получается, с этим патроном любая мосинка, любой апперкот, любой лобелька превращается в спарку. То есть ты, если где-то на возвышенности бьешься, по тебе раз с мосинки, ты, если куда-нибудь падаешь, то все. Без парашюта ты это... Нахер покинул помещение. И игру, пожалуйста. Балдеж.
Балдеж. And why you died or why you actually did not die.
Exactly. And we actually have more ammo types just for bullets, guys. And we are not even at the shells yet, just saying.
Yeah, we told you we had a few videos recorded.
Yes.
Вот, походу, про него.
And that is the Spitzer.
Что, уже на тест? Накатили?
Yeah, so Swiss invention originally, and then basically was adopted by all major militaries across the world around the turn of the 19th century to the 20th century, where the physicality of the bullet was changed to be a bit more a pointy cone, like Spitz as in pointy, that's a German word, and that term has kind of coined around that time. And so if you are looking at a modern round, like today, present day, like I don't know, a Kalashnikov round, G3 round, whatever, Dragunov round, whatever you normally would use these days, even in World War II.
Через несколько целей может пролетать.
You would have them with a typical, very pointy tip. Now the weapons in Hans so far, if you would take a closer look at the Mosin Nagant, you would see they have a rounded tip. They look much more like a pistol round actually, so a long bullet, but like
3 головы в раз
not
прошьет
that
в линию,
typical,
интересно.
like pointy attribute. And the Spitzer rounds are introducing exactly that. So this is basically modern ammunition.
Придется переходить на спарку со Spitzer Armor.
A couple of drawbacks compared to the ammunition that is in the game by default. So first off, it's only available for our more than long ammo rifles because like it also has like a higher powder charge in it, and like you cannot just fire this in every weapon. Like some of the weapons would just literally just break after a couple of rounds when you put like a top loaded piece of ammunition in there, and it increases the velocity of the bullet actually quite drastically. So like where a long ammo in the game right now is like 600 or I think like 650 meters a second, depending whether it's a Lebel or a Mosin Nagant. This goes up to close to modern specs for these type of rounds of ammunition. So like I think a modern 7.62 to 5.4 Russian round, as you would see in a Mosin Nagant, but also modern rifles, right? I think has like 870 or so, or even 890 meters a second, and we're going to 840. So like from 600 to 840 is quite a big step up, and makes these
840.
to use, because it's like
Это он про 840? В это... Чё?
And that is that first off, there's a high
В 2 раза быстрее.
like smokeless powder, and that has an effect on the recoil. That's probably not so much of a problem for like a bolt action weapon where there's some time between shots. But
пересяду с патронов курильщика на здоровые.
Why does it reduce the damage? You might think. Like it's actually because these more modern rounds, they have a much more stable flight path. The trajectory is much flatter. They have like just more flight stability, maybe is the better word. And as such, if they pierce the skin, if they hit someone, there's a higher chance for producing a very clean wound rather than tumbling, breaking, or doing all sorts of other weird stuff. And that means that the wounds that you take from them are actually much more survivable compared to maybe some of the older ones.
Рассказывает, а вот по факту просто вот, блядь, скажи название, описание, включи видео. Чтобы понимающие люди сразу понимали, что это. Блядь, чешет, сидит. Намазывает тут. Что ты намазываешь? Показывай давай.
There's a drawback. You want to go for those headshots because the body shots, you might actually take 3 shots to the body rather than 2 shots at a long distance with such a round. There's also a very impressive like supersonic crack as they pass by because it's a higher speed even. So if you're being fired at by a Spitzer round, you will notice it is a bit more whip cracky, if that's a word, compared to the regular ones as they snap past you.
So let's take a look at it in action, guys.
So you can see like this, just a bit of against AI, like so, like the long side of this boat there, like actually the was it like almost 2 meters or so thickness, with multiple penetrations, like that round can go through. You would even be able to hit multiple grunts in a line. So it's just a quick example of like it's just overall penetration just goes up with this thing. Against players, that means you can technically even shoot at 2 players behind each other. So this is a similar attribute like the nitro bullet can do. Just it punches clean right through. It has several more stages of penetration, so it can hit multiple layers. So there's a good chance this goes.
Технически ты можешь шотнуть 3 охотников. Интересно, технически можно 3 головы повешать?
Obviously, it still can't go through trees and other stuff like that, right? Like this, the maximum thickness is the same, but it's much more likely to hit targets.
Надо будет поиграть в геометрию.
This is interesting. For example, like if someone is trying to revive block, right, and you have that ammunition, you might actually, if you're lucky, have a chance to wound the guy that's blocking and still kill the guy behind them. That's just a possibility that comes from this. So this is probably going to be something you'll see more closer with the sniper weapons. But yeah, let's see a little bit how this goes. So like the first shots in the video is the regular ammunition. So just like an Obra is shooting at me. And then the second 2 rounds are the Spitzer ammunition. And then I think it's 1 more Obra shot at the end. So maybe when it starts over, you just pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
One more time, just so you guys can hear the difference.
Информативненько.
So it's still like a much stronger muzzle flash. So it's more impressive the further you are away from the shooter, because like obviously there's close distance that we had in this quick video there. You actually have still very strong gun sound, right? But at long distances, like that snap is just you'll start moving before you realize. Like this is very intimidating.
And I think with that we got to the last bullet type, new bullet type, which is the explosive ammo. So as a main drawback of this ammo type is that you have a veilless ammo to use in general, but obviously it creates an AoE or area damage. And that AoE damage cannot one-hit kill people, but it's great against if there's a hunter behind a wall or a window or a door or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't want to invent like a nitro bullet
that
can kill it at every range, right? I mean, the shot bolt at least has a drawback with the ballistics on it, with the arc. It has. So these are more tactical rounds rather than actually rounds that are very much directly against players. So obviously hitting a player with it's going to hurt plenty. It's very powerful and very impressive, and you don't want to stand close to them. And if you get hit by them, you want to move, because the next round might actually kill you with splash damage, depending on how much damage you took. But you actually, if you bring them into the game, you have a lot less rounds available. Like the extra ammunition is much reduced with those, and we have 3 weapons at the moment that would have them. One is the Springfield rifle, one is the Martini Henry, and then we have one for the nitro. So with the nitro, obviously, like this is gonna be very powerful up close, where it actually can kill players, because the normal nitro does
По нитро, блядь, чтобы дом под корень сносить сразу.
But it carries much further, and allows you to, for example, like snipe like a meathead at a pretty large distance with one hit. It's a tactical option. It's something that allows you to play in interesting new ways, and allows you to just like be creative with this. Keep in mind, for example, the Springfield actually has a medium slot on of variant. So technically, if you slot that ammunition in there, you might have like explosive ammunition on your backup weapon, which can be actually very handy.
So the nitro is basically rocket launcher with the exploding the whole server.
Yeah, exactly. It has like a little thermonuclear warhead in it now. Yes. It's rather tame, actually. I think most people will still prefer the regular nitro round when they choose to play with a nitro. Again, think of these ammunition types to be side grades, right? They just nudge you in a certain direction. They take something away. In this case, like the 40-meter one-hit kill torso insta-kill option of the nitro, reduces that to a shorter range, but adds instead this indirect fire option to you, so that maybe if you fire this at the tower, for example, you might ignite a lantern or pressure the sniper out, etc. As you can see in the videos that we want to show you now.
Yeah, let's take a look at the first one then.
So yeah, camper killer ammunition, I think, is something that could be interesting to mention here.
Nice. I don't like that. Well, he just killed himself.
So this one, obviously, like the explosive ammunition doesn't ignite, right? It doesn't cause like a fire explosion, but there's a lantern inside, and the explosion just like basically fracked that lantern, and as such, like the entire tower was on fire, and the guy on fire, I think it was me, made the wrong choice. Mistakes were made. Gravity always takes its price. In worst case, if you don't hit the guy directly, you might get some secondary benefits, like barrels going up, oil patches igniting, lanterns going up. So you can use it for this type of indirect fire, where if someone is like in a specific sniping position, for example, or just camping somewhere in the bush, you might actually get some results with this by just shooting very close already.
I would love seeing that when I'm playing with 2 friends, just like in the enemy team, someone just jumping, would make my day, probably. Okay, we have yet another video as well.
Alright, this is the second video. As you can see here, like this is when it doesn't really work out so well. So that's just to show like this is not super powerful. So the second hit was actually a hit. The first one just like basically exploded on the outer railing. So the guy just went to the backside where the stairs are, just to quickly heal up. But there's no side there. As he comes back up, he's being engaged.
Даже дороже Грен должно быть.
Again, like not a big hit there. Like the radius is rather small on these. Like this is not like that you will have like 5-meter blast radius or so. You actually have to be rather close to where you want to hit the guy to have some meaningful result. And keep in mind you have limited ammunition.
Считайте, вот тройка в здании пушит с какого-нибудь. Вот, допустим, даже здесь. В 3 окна по такому патрону они захерачивают, и у тебя все это... Все помещение в огне. Потому что каждая лампа ляцкая в этой игре у тебя просто вспыхнет. Три одновременных залпа, и ты просто сгорел. Помещении. Учитывая, сколько ламп находится в помещениях. Обалдеть.
Which ones are the ones you like, which ones are the ones you're afraid of, which ones are the one that you would stay away from, etc.
Awesome, and I think that is the end of the bullets. So we are finally getting into
Тут и так все ясно.
Yeah, we're done with the bullets, but not with the custom ammo.
No, not at all. Not even halfway through, I guess. So let's look at the flechette.
So that's advantage. It's advantage of the shotguns. Like they have like shells rather than bullets. Everything is a little bit bigger. That means you can do more interesting things.
Shotguны
different
пошли.
Things inside. And I think that's just where the fun starts really here.
Exactly. So this ammo type causes bleeding, and depending on the pellets that hit you, obviously, but it has less pellets and less spread compared to the regular shells. But the range is extended by 50%.
Yeah, so basically this brings back shotgun bleeding, but it is bring it back in a different way, because you will not be able to one-hit kill someone close range. Like this weapon is this ammunition is weaker than regular ammunition, and as such, like you won't be able to just like kill someone very quickly with it. The advantage is that it just gives you a chance to pressure people. So this is basically the dum-dum version of shotgun ammunition. It still shoots out multiple projectiles, but they are
Нахуя тогда они нужны?
You have to be more precise when aiming with them, but the range is further, so you can actually at least cause like some bleeding.
It's not for one hit kill with shotgun, блять. А нахуя shotgun берут?
And it just opens up a tactical option for people who want to.
It's not for one hit shot.
But it obviously, like all of the
Блядь, что несет, а?
That is, it no longer has this insta-kill option.
Первая причина, почему берут шотган в этой игре, это для ван-хита. То, что это уже не ван-хитит, а просто вешает блит, это уже как бы, ну... И кроме шопы. 49 и геморрой. У вас это, и к врачу. Навряд ли 49. Ой, навряд ли, если лес пилится и меньше сприт. Навряд ли. Мне кажется, 90, 100, как максимум, в упоре. Ну, 120.
Yeah, let's look at in a PvP situation.
PvP situation. А ну-ка, алло. Ля. Банку с собакой. Ниссан хорош. А ты писал заявку, нет? Или обещали?
This case that didn't get hit, I think, and then the next round he's gonna get hit again at a distance. Just a little bit of bleeding, very minimally, but it pressures him. And then he ends up exactly where you want him to be, next to that barrel, and he can blow up the barrel.
Ой, блядь, PvP situation просто на 50 метров с колдвелла дробовика поливать. Нормально, good choice.
As with, for example, even a regular shotgun round. So think of them like little darts that kind of sail and fly to a further distance, but it's very unreliable.
Такие вообще клоунеско.
Took like maybe 20 damage or so the last shot there. Like it's
да? И что сказали, сделают?
Банку с собакой.
Может, со вторым, ой, с четвертым боссом может добавить. Кстати. Из него вместо баунти будет банка с собаками падать.
you have to use them in very specific situations. This is just for the audio a little bit, so you can kind of hear like how they kind of whiz by. So again, you will have a chance to kind of notice when these things are firing at you.
А ближе нельзя показать? Нормальную как бы PvP дистанцию для дробовика, когда обычно его используют. Покажите. А не вот, блядь, этот Маня ваш мирок вымышленный. И, блядь, с дробовиками пиздится на 20 метров на 30. Блядь, ну это, конечно...
You could hear the little tingly sound.
Yeah, it's a bit of a metallic whizzy type of sound that as it passes by, basically. Again, this will be much easier for you guys the moment you're on the servers and you actually can try this out.
Единственное, плюс, что у никакого...
And how this feels.
Да.
Any video can do it justice.
Считай, сколдовало залпом 2 патрона дать.
So, yeah, those people who have been salty about shotguns no longer doing bleeding.
На чуваке просто fast bleed и это...
But it comes at a price. Like, it's not just being added on top, it actually has some drawbacks as well. So you have to play differently if you want to use that mechanic.
So we can move on to the second variation, which a lot of people actually mentioned in the chat, which is penny shots.
Oh yeah, that was actually a little anecdote there. There was like a new movie that came out recently, featuring like a pretty good cast of people, and they actually did have a penny shot in there, so like this has been open for quite some time, but it was actually pretty awesome. Like I was grinning, I think, for like 5 minutes seeing that. When they loaded up the shotgun with the coins basically and blasted people, because this is actually pretty awesome.
Сейчас по ходу их
So
покажу.
what does penny shot do, however, in Hant Showdown? So first off, it's a fewer amount of pellets, right? So it's bigger pellets and they do more damage each, but it's fewer of them, and that has a very strong consequence because it means that while this might be very powerful up close, it actually becomes even more RNG prone and like exposed to randomness at medium distances, like for a shotgun. So these pellets, or these coins rather, they really hit hard if you're up close, but at medium distances, they lose against a regular shotgun quite easily. So you have to be playing very carefully. So this is where the flechette extends the range of the shotgun.
Random sprint after few meters. Это как, блядь? Это вот так и вот так? Или after few meters там это АИЗа выводит, искусственный интеллект.
These pennies have almost zero penetration, right? Like, so look, you cannot blow up a barrel with them. So again, same drawback that you will have to be careful when and how to use them. They are actually something which is more focused around the PvE side because it allows you to really quickly dispatch.
Тут не написано, что еще больше разброс. Тут написано рандом разброс через несколько метров. То есть они типа летят вот так, а потом вот так. Читай по-английски-то. Воу, корона раньше 2 шотал, теперь с одной. Мне кажется, good choice for play PvE content in this game. Это брать с собой корону и ходить вот это вот делать.
If it couldn't be avoided, but that thing just destroys. And I'm so in love with that sound.
Лучшая пушка для PvE. Корона.
The money playing everywhere, like even visually you can see it. Maybe better in one of the next shots, where just like the pennies, they just like go everywhere. And it's really satisfying with the ringing sound to it.
Here we can take a look against the Meathead.
Yeah, Meathead takes 3 shots to kill, so also up close, obviously you have to get up close and personal. At distance, it will take even more shots than a regular shotgun, right? So keep in mind, it drops the damage so quickly. You have to be almost point blank, like just 2 or 3 meters or so, to maximize this effect. And the moment you go further away,
мелочью задавил.
You could actually see the coins flying.
Обсыпал полностью.
First shot.
That's all I'm saying. Is this pay to win? Only if it would take if every shot would take your blood bonds or something. So here we can see it against the player. And see how it struggles because you cannot penetrate the wood. You actually have to get around there.
Прикольно вообще просто. Дерево вообще не пробивает ни разу. Вот нормально, это хороший патрон, мне нравится. Это, походу, незаявленная фича до этого была во всех дробовиках. На нас тестили дробовики, когда ни хрена в опору не убивалось. Сували вот это вот вместо обычных патронов, и все.
I really love the sound how the coins just spread around you when you shoot it.
Yeah.
Sounds really cool.
It's very oh, this is a good one. I have to quote it. Sorry, it's very satisfying.
Oh my god. If you guys didn't know, Dennis always has the best word jokes.
I was stealing that one from chat. Chat was better than me.
That's impossible. And I guess that brings us to the next shell category, which is slug ammo. So as you can see,
yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go for it.
Yeah, so it is a single bullet, and it comes with reduced penetration once again, and it is way more inaccurate in hipfire compared to lifers. However, it has much longer damage retention compared to other shotguns, but doesn't guarantee longer headshot ranges still. But the range itself is much longer.
Yeah, before we go to the videos, let me talk a little bit about it. So the slug is, I think, one of the most difficult ones to balance for us in the game. That's why in the videos that we see in a minute, we actually try to showcase more like the ranges and what it means in practice, because I think it's important to talk about that. So a slug technically is just one big like bowl or conical metal piece that can weigh like maybe twice normal bullet even, that is being fired out through like usually a smoothbore shotgun as if it were basically a musket, right? It's like a musket ball almost traditionally. So it just fires this one shot, but it's not meant to be a sniper rifle. So we don't want to turn shotguns into sniper weapons. Like so, gameplay-wise, we took a couple of steps balancing-wise, like how this can work for the player to feel fair. So when it says reduced penetration, it just means like we don't expect like a slug to like cut through like two buildings, right? It's gonna be close to the regular shotgun. I think it's a little bit less, but not much. You can still shoot through like maybe 1 or 2 layers of wood, as you could do with compact ammunition and with the normal shot shell, like the buckshot we have in the game. But the thing is that you need to actually hit your shots, right? With a normal shotgun, you have the dispersion, right? So it's much more forgiving. With this one, you have to be more precise. It's almost like using like a long ammo weapon in close quarters, right? Very satisfying if you hit, but there's a higher chance for you to miss those hits depending on what's going on. They're also like the spread of the crosshair in the first aim stage and shoulder aim in the hips basically is a bit wider even than rifles. So shooting from the hip is something you just don't want to do with this because it's very, very random, very inaccurate. You want to go to iron sights and see that you can at least land that shot. Now, what does it mean damage-wise? Obviously, there has to be some pros and some cons here, because a normal shotgun can kill a player on average up to 10 meters out, right? Like some a little bit more, like the Romero, some a little bit less, like for example the SoLo versions or the ones with bayonet or the rifle. So the slug still has to feel like a shotgun round, so we have to keep the one-hit kill option for it. And what we try to do here is come up with a balancing formula where you have, I think it's like around 11 or 12 meters one-hit kill option for a compact version and around 14 or so meters for the regular one. So it's very short range where a slug can strike a man down like or a woman down in one go, right? But there's another drawback with it. While slugs allow you to engage enemies at distance, it doesn't really allow you to engage enemies at distance with headshots. Like, so the headshot range for those is also just a few meters further than the chest range. So in the example here, like you have I think 22 meters or so. You can see it in the video in a second there. In 22 meters headshot range for a slug. Anything beyond that, even if you hit them in the head, like at 30 meters, at 40 meters, it's not going to kill them. So that's a very, very big difference balancing wise. Like you cannot outperform a rifle at distance. The rifle can always one hit kill you with a headshot. The slug cannot in return. You have to hit the enemies multiple times, but it still allows you to have that option. So you're basically becoming a little bit less powerful at close range because you have to hit that one bullet, but you also become a little bit more powerful by having, just like the Flechetti, like a longer range on the shot in general, so you can still fight back, you can still compete. Obviously this is very interesting if your shotgun allows, like the Romero, to have 2 types of ammunition, so you could have some slugs with you, but also maybe some Flechette or some regular shots, right? So then it's based on the situation, you press the X button to toggle. But if you, for example, bring a Spectre or a Rival, you are committed, you would need to choose one type only, and then obviously that might mean that the slug gives you more versatility, but it also means that you're no longer as good close range.
Стрельбом 20 метров с Ромеро.
At long range. So they kind of sit in a nice spot in between. So I think enough talking. Let's have a look quickly at the first videos. So this is more of a technical evaluation.
Exactly. So this is with a Spectre compact.
So like at that short distance, I mean, obviously cheats. You can see like even as he goes back a little bit, so we're like around 10 meters now. He steps 1 meter back more. It already, like, I think it's one more actually. It's like 11 meters now, and now this one should not kill anymore. So you see the guy is just still standing. So that's the headshot range you have with that. It's very, very minimal. You might be able to maybe bring a guy down on one of those roofs if you're close by. So in close quarter combat, that's really, really cool and really powerful. But it's nothing that allows you to really like have a strong fight at distance. Now the same situation here, just shooting at the chest, so upper torso. Again, it's and down. Thank you. It actually kills you obviously at this distance, but you just go back a little bit, and it already doesn't do that anymore. See, like even at that distance here, so that's like this 11 meters or so, it simply doesn't strike you down with it.
Я так понимаю, этот слаг-патрон дает просто убийство в чест на 30-40% увеличивая дистанцию. Все.
To keep in mind here that the slug is a damage dealer that will require multiple hits unless you get them really, really close and you're good with aim, then you can bring him down with a headshot or a shot to the upper torso.
И возможность захедшотить на 20 метров.
We have to be very careful with, because obviously nitro is a thing in the game, and we know from the past how the nitro was very difficult to
Один
balance.
вопрос, кто тебе даст на таком расстоянии
They have their place, they have some good power.
С дробовика голову целивать?
Into mini nitros, for example, like this is not meant to be a mini
С ваншотного тем более.
So as you can see here, like
Такого
with
как
the regular
Ромеро,
version, so like the full-size one, the range extends like a little bit further out than with the compact version, but
как
still,
опция
it's
для
not gonna
клосс-битвы,
be
окей.
super wide. Like this was like
Как
23 meters or so.
хедшот машин, то нахер надо.
And then the same thing here with the chest again.
А резиновые пули добавь в дробовик?
And already doesn't insta-kill him. Again, this guy is super low on health right now, but it's not enough to bring him down in one shot. I can already tell you that, at least from my experience on the test server and with our external testers, like slugs are very powerful still. Like in the right hands, if people know how to aim and to shoot, they can really ruin your day. So don't underestimate them just because they don't have a chance to kill you more than X meters out here. They are still in close quarters very deadly, and they are much less RNG because you only have this one hit, and if you hit, a high chance if you're in range that you actually bring the guy down one shot. So they feel a lot more consistent if you use them, but obviously you have to hit your shots.
Some people has been asking like, what can you use on a LeMat, because that's like not a regular shotgun. Can you use the shotgun shells as well?
So yeah, the LeMat is actually an interesting point. We don't have, I think, a slide for it, but I can quickly talk about it if you like. So the LeMat can modify 2 types of ammunitions. Like it has one slot reserved for the bullets, and it has one slot reserved for the shotgun. So that means you can kind of mix and match different types of ammunition on both ends to make this a very, very flexible fire. Like, for example, you can bring like some couple of full metal jacket rounds, so you get like the penetration power together with fanning, very, very powerful.
Реально, лимат вообще просто. Full metal засалываешь и слаг. И вот у тебя в руках, грубо говоря, нынешние, что там у нас, 8 метров, нынешние спектра. И все прошивающее. Двухпатронное чудо. Зыбыс.
Imagine two lamats then with.
Yeah, this is actually something which is also important to mention. So like not every weapon has every type of ammunition available to them, right? I mentioned this a little bit in the beginning, but since maybe some people only dialed in a little bit later, this is important for balancing. Like for example, I can tell you right now, we do not have slugs on the Order 5, right? That is just it's very hard to balance. That is very powerful. So we focus on different weapons. Maybe if at one point we feel the slugs are in a very good position, and keep in mind test server is for balancing and tuning. So again, we need the feedback for it. We might maybe in a future update expand the arsenal a little bit, maybe just adding a couple more types to some of the weapons or even introducing new types. But for the moment, just like with attachments and like scope, silencer, they're only there for specific weapons.
Вот она, новая свежая струя жиденького такого подъехала.
Each of these weapon families.
Exactly. So let's move on to our fourth shell type, which is called star shell.
Before we do that, sorry to cut in, there was one question, and I think I just would quickly like to respond to that. That is dual wielding. That's actually a very good question as well. So when you dual wield, you can only equip custom ammunition for what you have equipped on your gun and inventory, as you saw in the very first video. So that means if you have dual wield weapons, like 2 pistols, for example, you only select one type of ammunition, and then that counts for both of these guns. So you cannot mix between dual wielding. But it's cheaper to equip it on dual wield because you don't need to equip 2 times the same, but it's just one that you need to slot in for that. And obviously, the moment you deselect that and put it back into your arsenal, the ammunition separates from the weapon.
Ну да, на dual вообще. Dual новыми красками заиграет.
Obviously, if you take 2 pistols separately, you can customize.
Просто.
Absolutely, but if you want to dual wield them, you have to pick one type basically. And yeah, another point. Sorry.
No problem.
There are also certain weapons that do not get any custom ammunition. For example, the Dolch. Poor sad Dolch doesn't get any custom ammo. Well, I think no one is really sad about that,
complaining. Yes.
Чё, Dolch не custom ammo?
Awesome. So yeah,
прослушал,
let's get into the
задумался.
star shell modo.
Yes, star shell. It's waited long enough.
Which is very similar to a fair pistol, guys, but in a shotgun. So it goes with the same speed and does same damage and causes the same light as a normal flare would.
Yeah, so this is just a tactical option basically. It is very close to just firing a flare from a flare gun. Just in this case, it comes from a shotgun. It's very interesting if you have multiple ammunition types to go with. For example, you can just say, like, you know what, I don't want to bring a flare pistol as a tool. I want to bring a different tool instead, like a slot frees up. So maybe on my Romero hand cannon, I actually put 50% of the ammunition to be star shell. So I get like more 3-4 shots, and I can still burn down armors and that type of stuff easily.
А интересно, там каждая это поджигает или что это?
More tactical options. It's just like putting a blade on a weapon. You can save the knife, for example.
People are starting to say to buff the Dolch at this point.
Well, let's hear the feedback on the test server.
Or let's take a look at the star shell in the game as well. But as you can expect, it looks like a flare gun.
Если они работают по механике.
Down range, but can't see him, but he hit him at least. So obviously, probably not really necessary to do a star shell here at this situation, but it looks good. So just swap to the second ammo type. Now he swapped back to slug. He sees a little bit better. Bam, and the guy's dead. Obviously, this is a very much constructed scenario here, right? But you get the point about the flexibility of it.
Let's take a look once more. It also looks like a firework. Pretty cool.
And you can use, I think, the star shell in the Lamat. I think, yes, I think that's the case. Just because the question just came up.
Нихуя не понял.
And obviously it will be really useful against burning like AI, I think, especially.
Ну он же по шотному дал.
Gives you all the advantages.
Он же раз его шотнул, два шотнул.
All right, so we have one more, I think.
Maybe the most exciting one. which everyone has been waiting for, the Dragon Breath ammo.
Oh yeah. So this is I think when it comes to shotgun ammunition, this is like my personal favorite. Not because it's the most effective, just because it's gorgeous. So yeah, what is a Dragon Breath? Dragon Breath is basically a term for a shotgun shell that's being mistreated and abused to pretend it's a flamethrower. So it basically shoots out like a single jet of flame, a single burst of fire, short-lived. And basically can set things on fire in close range.
Sounds really cool.
It will still not be able to burn hunters because it doesn't leave an area effect, just FYI. So it has a bit less damage, so you cannot insta-kill with this one in close range, so the shotgun loses its one-hit kill option, but the range is actually quite extended because that fire stream just like kicks out for like almost like 20-30 meters or so.
Oh, wow.
It does what fire normally does, right? It can obviously have a strong burn charcoaling effect. So you might like if you get hit by this very well, like you might lose like a more chunky, even worst case, like a Hellfire bomb. But overall, like this is a bit RNG because it still fires technically with like different fragments, like different shrapnel pieces out. They're just basically fire. And that means depending on how many of those hit, that determines the damage that's being received.
So basically, you can set the whole world on fire with those. And
almost, but I think this thing really just needs someone to see it rather than me talking about it. So let's show the first video because this is just like they can watch this all day.
This will be beautiful. Wow.
Ебать.
That's so cool.
Ой. Истинное предназначение ночной карты. Вот встать втроем в поле и фейерверки пускать. Вот это вот.
The guy just emerges there at the end of the film, just fires like 2 more shots up in the roof, like one missed, and the second one just barely hit the guy. So you see like a
Хватит, он сразу вешает.
Like 15 or so.
Let's take a look again because it looks way too cool. It's almost like shooting fireworks from your shotgun.
Yeah, it's very spectacular. But also, obviously, that the projectile travels at a much slower speed, right? Like this is not comparable with an actual bullet being fired. There's a high chance you might miss just because you're misjudging leading. But it has so many tactical uses in terms of igniting stuff, setting AI on fire, exploding.
А можно посмотреть дымак этого?
A one-shot flamethrower, which is something I think is very impressive. Again, against AI, for the most part, I guess you want to be careful when and how to use it because, like, see, the second guy, for example, just only got knocked back. It didn't even get set on fire. It was probably just a single.
Так он же все на пути должен, по идее, жечь. Как написано. Почему бы не шел?
You must feel like a badass doing this though, like.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Двоих сразу. Он шотнул. Там же написано все, что чего докасается, то загорается.
No, you cannot. You cannot. It doesn't leave like fire patches on the ground that are burning. It just ignites things it touches, basically. So like you can see here, for example, against a barrel, obviously insta burn, but against the inside the explosion, but like against the like the meter here, for example, it's not really that effective, right? Like the guy can take quite a beating, as you know, from lanterns, right? Like usually takes quite a bit of fire to bring him down. So again, also not the
most кадры, да. Я же говорил, подвезут минут 10 FPS как минимум.
Yeah, it does not delete just everything that's close by, right? Like so there are clear drawbacks with it, and obviously.
Ты видел, как он повешал просто горение на охотника?
So like it's just like a mock battle again, where just like this guy is coming across there, so you're just firing at him. In first person, you can see like it's very hard to actually stay on target. And since it doesn't go through walls, like it basically means like the guy was able, even though he got hit a little bit, there, he wasn't even set on fire.
Канистра была бы неплохо. Блять, вот дай на таком расстоянии хиз дроби по нему. Ну, в ответ дай, блядь, что ты, блядь, туда-то стреляешь?
Yeah, it can blow barrels up. It sets oil on fire, but it is something which, yeah, you still have to hit your target. It's a very tight spread on it. It's like really just like a stream of flame coming out of the front.
Весь тест-сервер зарядил просто вот эти патроны.
He still blows up the barrel.
Я одновременно выстрелил.
Awesome. So that was the Dragon Band ammo, guys. I think you will definitely enjoy playing around with it on the test servers.
Не выдержал наплыва. Наплыву любителей говна.
I think that also brings us to the end of the shotgun shells, but we still have all the crossbows left. So let's just dive into it, starting with our poison bolt.
Yeah, so it's something we have had in the game for quite a while, right? And I think everybody can agree on that it was kind of like pointless. This is basically a very big buff for the poison bolts in terms of that. First off, you can now combine them by just bringing a couple of hand crossbow bolts and a couple of poison hand crossbow bolts. So if you want to use it against AI, for example, but also, and that's the most important part, it actually leaves an area effect, right? This is like much bigger than like what's contained in a bullet, right? It just like kind of like disperses on impact. So you actually hit the guy directly. But with this one here, with the bolt, actually leaves like a poison cloud behind that stays for a while. So you can use that to block doors. You can use that to like kill AI, choke AI, choke point them in like into a funnel and have them die from that. Like, in general, it just opens up tactical options, like a mini poison grenade, basically, right?
Exactly, so it can block all doors and entrances, and you can, I guess, shoot it over.
Это вот типа того Poison Cloud, который после бочек этих токсичных остается, где, как я вчера ползал под бочкой, которая через все просто, ее как бы не видно, а она есть. И сжирает нахер все хп. Ну, это прикольно. Пойдет.
Exactly, and by the way, we will show a video at the end of all the bolts instead of showing them one by one.
Yep.
So the second we have is the explosive bolt, which we also had previously.
Yeah, so you know that one. There isn't really that much we need to say about it. It didn't really change, except for that it is now an ammo choice. So if you want to bring a crossbow, you can choose to bring any combination of the standard bolts. So that means the regular ones,
ну,
the
да.
bolt, as well as the
Судя по тому, что я видел, этот Dragon Share, ну, вот этот огненный этот дракон, он моментом вообще на расстоянии 20 метров уже, считай, у тебя сжигает где-то, вешает на тебя уголь процентов 30. Ой, вернее, хп 30. А если вблизи метров 15 дать? Что, просто моментум. Какая степень горения у тебя сразу будет?
Yeah, so this is for the hand crossbow also, and then in general that's like a trend. We're trying to turn the hand crossbow a bit more into a like a utility tool.
Арбалет нахер никому не интересно? Мы не будем показывать.
That gives you a bit more tactical options. So obviously you can
не poison, не этот.
The regular bolts, but like it just gives you choice. And like the chaos bolt ammunition basically means you could fire like a mini chaos bolt. Obviously it has a much shorter range.
Куда уж шота, блядь?
Just fires like just a handful of shots, but that's good enough.
Куда уж шота-то, а?
It can project this out to I think like 50 or so meters. If you have the perfect angle, right? It's a bit of a heavier piece, so it doesn't travel as far as regular crossbow bolts do, but it's still good enough for you to really use that for a distraction. You don't need to bring a chaos bomb for it for a consumable slot. So just gives you tactical things. And we had this a couple of times where like, on external testing, people are basically saying like, oh no, this can't be a chaos bomb. That was just too short. And then they were just really sure that like there was actually like a hunter there, and then the guy who fired it could take this to his advantage and engage him from a safe position. So it's a tactical option. It's more of a niche thing, right? I don't think this will not be meta, but it gives people who like.
Ну это вообще просто в плотненькую троечку запускаешь такую хрень. Первого шотаешь, остальные два минус 25 хп сразу. Минус по полоске.
Doesn't do any damage, right? It's just like the normal. I mean, if you hit someone with it,
tool, basically.
yeah. I mean, obviously, like it can still like kind of like stick to you just like a chaos bomb does, but I mean, just stop bandaging and falls off, right? This is not a lethal weapon.
Cool. And I think we have the last kind, which is the new choke bolt ammo.
Yes, the new choke bolt ammo, and that is an interesting one because it basically gives you a micro choke bomb. So what it means is you can maybe hit that player that's burning, that your friends at a further distance, to actually keep him safe. But also it kills emulators. It's basically doing what the normal how you call it choke bomb is doing. Just again, like you don't need to maybe bring that tool because maybe you have the hand crossbow as a backup with half the ammunition being that instead of regular bolts. So it gives you options. It gives you like possibilities. You can counter like any sort of poison clouds with it. So if someone is trying to like throw like poison around the arena, etc., just like one of those eliminates like a poison cloud for an entrance and just gives you maybe a chance to go through unharmed.
Они добавили в игру вторую бесполезную вещь наравне с это... со спайглазом. На одну полку поставить. Преимущество болта. Убивает эмуляторов. Обалдеть.
Yeah, it's like basically I think this video has like two types.
Choke and poison.
Yeah, first off like poison, auto crows, and off they go. Finally, it's possible again. So being fired at. So put in the choke ball because it's burning there. Boop, extinguish the fire. And just have a chance to go through. Obviously, very much constructed sequence here. This is not actual proper gameplay, and this guy probably was currently reading chat.
Они такие еще ситуации просто идеальные в вакууме разыгрывают. Так, по мне дали шот. Ага. Так, тут я его переиграю. Оп, огонь. А у меня чок-стрела. Вот она и пригодилась, наконец-то. 101-я катка, и вот она пригодилась. Ага, а тут он побежал, меня не видит, просто бежит. И я его перехватил. Genius. Genius play.
But it is reduced requirements. You don't need to bring like quartermaster or 2 medium weapons. That should boost the usage of that weapon quite drastically.
Exactly. And I think that is the end of our new ammo types, guys. So I think there's a lot to take in with custom ammunition. So make sure that when the test servers are online, you test them out and leave all your feedback about each. The more you play around with
сколько у него там лента? 16 патронов?
Или
32, сколько там?
Just maybe as a quick recap, so custom ammunition types, they're all special ammo, so you always need to be worrying about your ammunition. You can bring an ammo box as a consumable, otherwise you have to find a new special ammo box. Very, very important drop. All of them are side grades. All of them will always cost you a little bit by taking something away, like for example wall penetration or damage, etc., but they give you something on top, so you can kind of shift your gameplay left and right, but it's not going to replace the basic They're tactical options, and they allow you to try out different playstyles. They basically are an integral part of the gunplay system now.
Мы шли 2 года, шли, и вот к чему мы, блядь, пришли.
Shouldn't make like one particular type supersede the default ammunition or stand out as being OP.
Awesome, and just because we are at the end of the custom ammo, it doesn't mean we are at of our content. So we have a bunch more things actually.
Но видишь, как бы это...
First of it, we have some smaller visual.
Банку с собаками не добавили, так что хреново работают.
In the previous videos, like the backgrounds for all the weapons and all legendaries as well.
Я вам еще сделал, чтобы эти патроны с мелочью можно было, ну, то есть, за реал покупать. Сколько заплатил, столько и получил. Ищик стреляет.
If you show the initial video again that we showed about how to equip the custom armor, you can see it there, so we can note that one more time.
Поборем нищету патронами с мелочью.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see like the backgrounds there in terms of like how legendary stuff, like the contraband. Just everything looks a bit nicer there, and we've cleaned this up a little bit. New graphics and yeah. Just in general, like a bit of quality of life improvements across the board there. There's going to be more of that moving forward, but this is like the baseline for this, so we have a bit more improved visuals. Like you see, for example, the contraband icon also like being much bigger, much more prominent on screen now, rather than small icons. So again, try it out on test server, you will see it. I think you will like it.
And we also have some pictures to actually show it. Just in like the base menu, you can see that the backgrounds are a bit dirtier. You can see the log ones with like chains all over the screen and such. So overall, it just looks nicer. And here with some legendary examples as well. New backgrounds, new images. Just a bit cleaner overall. And that's for the UI visual changes, but we also have some level changes, which you can see. So first of all, Brickverse has a new hole on the wall, as you guys can probably tell from this picture.
Больше дырок в дырявую игру, давай!
Make for some fun little hide and seek gameplay.
Yeah, so basically there was some construction and
Бог рандома просто их посетил, мне кажется.
Experimenting with the new boss. Some accident happened and like just parts of the wall fell out.
Смотрите, смотрите, мы дырку сделали в стене. Работают люди, чё?
Probably it was some of the new shells destroying it, honestly.
Yeah, maybe some slugs, I don't know.
Some nitro shots.
Они сейчас так все дырки будут показывать, где не стену продырявили. Или это все, что они сделали? Одну дырку. А, нет, вон еще есть. Еще дырки. Крыши.
Yeah, so you have like a chance to just go up on that roof from that side now. Again, just try it out on test server. Nothing more to say about that.
Okay. Chapel has a new metal gate.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. So why would we want to put a metal gate there? What weird reason could we have for that?
Ну тут они явно из Таркова это заходили на сервера Таркова, смотрели. Искали, что спиздили патроны и ворота. И ворота с собой унесли. Ох, эти изменения геймплея пошло. Замок амбарный, блядь. Да-да-да.
So what's that? Like someone has been building there, right? Wasn't it like a small white check there only?
Ох ты ж, они, смотри, что.
I think yes.
Они сарай увеличили.
Yeah, so something has definitely changed there. Let's maybe have a look.
О, заживем теперь на этой лойке просто.
What's that? It's like we're in the boss arena. We're in the boss arena now. We're below the chapel, and there's a ladder. Where does that ladder lead to?
Right to hell, it seems like.
Does it go up? Does it go down? It goes up. I looked at. Could that be, Benz? Could that be the same building, the same white building we've just seen?
Ох ты ж.
You mean this one?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. So yeah.
Новую дырку добавили, обалдеть.
So this is basically just like a different new entrance.
Ну хуй-то, там-то ворота повешали. Там-то теперь не войти. Интересно, там ворота на одном входе или на обоих? Второй-то вход не показали.
So you can make a daring escape.
Exactly. So, guys, make sure to play around with that as well and tell us how you like it. And we have some additional ladders added to different parts of the map, like you can see on this building on the left side. So you can actually climb the roof.
Обалдеть.
So it just gives you a chance like to be a bit more level with the
additional ladder.
Until now you couldn't access the roof at all, right?
Ну круть.
So now you can go there and you can use it as shelter and you have a chance to maybe just like peek a little bit more inside. It just opens up more options, more angles, and maybe makes it a bit more interesting, a bit more easy.
More options to take headshots.
The same thing here for the post office in Lawson Station. So there's like a roof access there, which is a bit more convenient.
Они походу это начальника по лестницам наняли к себе. Контора-то растет, развивается. Есть лесничий, а есть лесничий. Лесничий завелся. Ходит по картам в лестнице. Крепит. Тут вообще лестница к чему? Почему она там? Зачем? И так сойдет. Просто здесь будет лестница.
We like them ladders.
We do. And I think that's the bigger map changes.
Ну-ка.
We have a bunch of gameplay changes as well.
Ох ты ж!
And, actually, a lot of you guys
а патроны это не gameplay changes?
In the chat and custom ammo, so we actually, well, let's talk about the hint system, I guess. And
so this is for new player onboarding. Again, as you know, we've talked about this in the last updates over and over again. It's important for us to get new players into the game. And if you remember your time when you started the game, if you were around, you basically had a one-off pop-up every time you entered a screen, right? So you would basically go the first time to the roster or to the recruitment screen, and we just show you a pop-up of what this was all about. You had no chance to get this information back, and usually after the second screen you went to, you just clicked them away because you didn't care, because it was just too much text. So what we did is we prevent that from happening, so you don't have this pop-ups being forced on you anymore, but instead we added this little speech bubble.
Нормальный такой change gameplay.
On the top right corner, and that allows you to you per screen, per menu option to kind of toggle off information, and it explains a little bit what this is all about, what you can do here, and have a chance to just play with this. People are asking what are the plus 5,000 at the top. That's actually the account linking screen that you might be already knowing. Like usually when you start the game for the first time, we ask you if you want to link your account, and we reward you with some extra Hunt dollars. And this is an option that is just going to be there if you haven't done that yet, and if you did, well, it just go away. It also goes away, I think, after you open it once or twice, and you can always go to the options menu to do this later on. If you ever feel the need to get 5,000 Hunt dollars and you want to link your accounts, then that's the way to do it.
I think that's enough of the pop-up, but basically it's on every window there where you previously had some text, and then you can just switch it off easily or just look at it when you want.
Might be interesting also, maybe even for some of the veterans, so maybe just like once in a while just toggle that option on, maybe just have a look, maybe you learn something new about the menu or get to know some details. So we try to actually improve the information that's being displayed in general as well, so people should have less intrusive for new players, but also like a bit more on-demand information that they can pull. Yeah.
So as I mentioned a bit earlier, we have made some changes how concertina wires work.
Yeah, so concertina has been a bit of a hot topic as well in the past. Like, so if you think about concertina in the live environment, you think probably about an obstacle, but also you think about how you cannot shoot through them. You think about how you can throw them on top of burning hunter, and then the choke bomb sometimes doesn't work from the other guy, etc. Like you think about a lot of like kind of things where it's kind of like, man, as a package, well, it's there and it works and it's actually quite nice and effective, but also it can be a bit frustrating sometimes and hard to actually understand what it's meant to do and what it's not meant to do. So, what we've been doing is we have improved the hit detection of the wires, so that like they're basically having smaller proxies now. That means you can more likely shoot through gaps that are between them.
Да ладно!
So obviously a little bit bigger than what you see in the match, just the way they have to be set up.
Теперь...
But bigger holes, you will have a much better chance to shoot through more reliably. And that
3 года anniversary. Мы сделали так, что через... если ты видишь человека через концентрину, ты можешь в него попасть.
There's going to be some changes
становится реальностью.
to concertina gameplay. Can you pause for a sec?
Обалдеть.
So what it means is that
Воу, полегче, крайтеки, куда вы? Тихо. Чё разогнались-то? Харе радовать, чё еще добавили? Текстуры, может быть, поправили? А?
Block a hunter that's being downed in the open, so that you can revive him behind the shelter, right? Obviously, that's going to be harder now, so you won't be able as effectively. It might still work, but it's more.
Лучше же сегодня не будет, думаешь? Погоди. Это еще только первый пункт геймплея ченджера. Сейчас, погоди.
You have a denser coil, right? And there it's much harder to shoot through. But overall, you might feel just that it's becoming a bit easier being able
Сейчас еще удивят. Походу, там еще пару тузов в рукаве.
Some people think, oh shit, I've just lost an option here to revive a teammate. That's part of this change set, right? It just changes the rule sets a little bit. It's also going to be a bit more different when it comes to the boss layers, for example, where people might use concertina bombs or traps to seal off certain entrances. And then normally we just go there and just like melee bash it, but because the guy from the inside can't
вдруг козыри черви?
Rather safely. Again, also becomes a bit more risky. So there's pros
Сейчас козырей как зайдут.
To it, and some of them might even slow the game down a little bit. But overall, I think it feels a lot more consistent and a bit more like what you would expect how it should act in the world.
Awesome, so we can continue watching the video.
Yeah, so this is like now where you can like shoot with a compact ammo rifle against it. It doesn't.
Походу, не все дырки тестятся. Еще технологии не дошли.
That long ammo just clearly severs the links. So long ammo can now destroy concertina pieces.
Как бы пока не все.
Individual pieces if you hit them directly, and it obviously can create much more of an opening. The same is true obviously for the nitro ammunition, and the same is also true for metal jacket ammunition.
Не, просто он целится в бочку, такое ощущение.
That is a bit more armor piercing. That also has.
Ну все, теперь концентрину можно. Классно.
So if you don't have that opening right from the beginning.
Теперь можно суперкот ломать. Обалдеть. Мосинки можно еще. Блядь, а что, наверное, с ней автомат делает? Просто разрывает в клочья? Вон в пучок верхний. 15 патронов просто, и все, и нету ее. Это гениально, мне кажется.
Yeah, so this is something which changes now. So this has been, I guess, if you pause for a second, please. So this has been something where I think people have been using that the most. Like you just equip your tool and your med kit or whatever, and you just punch the wire, right? It's effective because it's like it's the least stamina use. It's a way to
это вообще
very
тихо,
quickly.
тихо.
But it
Разогнались, да?
if you think about it, rather silly. So something that we're doing is just putting a bit of a consistent language in that. Like now you will have to cut the wire. So a bayonet stab into the wire or a punch with the dusters or with the fists or anything that is a blunt attack will not destroy the mesh. Like the mesh will just love it off and that's the end of it. Obviously you can still just like run into the wire and then it breaks, but then you get bleeding damage. So you will not be trapped in wire. You can still do whatever you can normally do against it. But if you want to clear these obstacles, it's following more of a logical rule set now that you actually need to cut the wire with something that can cut it and
да, интересно, что взрывной делает? Сконцентрированный. Вообще его разрывает в клочья.
So let's have a look at this video. You can see kind of like how different scales of weapons become better and better in doing it. Like the dusters again, no effect here. And with a knife, the regular knife, you can still do it, but it takes like 2 strikes to do it. So it will take quite a bit of stamina to this. The heavy knife, on the other hand, is already like strong enough. Like heavy knife cuts like several pieces even. So that becomes much stronger. So again, here's a little bit of a buff for the heavy knife.
Вот оно, предназначение-то. Так вот зачем лопату добавили в 1.3. Ёб твою, я-то думал.
Clear out like full large chunks just one sweep. So what that means is you can actually use a combat axe or a wood axe.
Я-то думаю, нахрена лопата с вилами? Так вот зачем. Просто тогда они еще не успели. Концентрину так сделать, чтобы через нее можно было наконец-то убивать. А сейчас как бы все, и лопата вон она. Вообще просто. Привет, Рональд. Он как лопатой, смотри, как машет. Оп! Все, лопата изи.
You will have to find a shovel, you will have to find like an axe and just like chop it away that way. Or maybe just your teammate is going to do it for you. So everything should feel a little bit more authentic, if that makes sense, a bit more realistic in terms of what you would expect it. And we no longer now have medkit people punching wire quickly just because it's the fastest, most efficient way. There's actually some bit of sense behind this now. Sure. That means there will be some situations where maybe your teammate has been buried on a concertina. You maybe only have dusters on you. Well, in this particular case, this is a drawback for you. This is a disadvantage. Like you now will have to actually seek out that axe, that shovel, whatever, in order to be able to clear it out. Or you will have to accept that you can only destroy the wire piece by piece by stepping into it, stopping to bleed, stepping into it, stopping to bleed. So it just changes the tactics a little bit and makes the whole thing a little bit more interesting. And yeah, I mean the riposte, for example, having the regular attack being a swing, obviously the swing attack also works very well against this. The stab doesn't, obviously, because you can't just like stab wire to death.
Awesome. So yeah, make sure to try it out with different weapons.
Awesome. Beautiful. Awesome.
Bring new tools to break them down quicker. So that's great.
Здорово, великолепно.
We also changed some more things like the crank doors.
Воу, полегче. Звуки.
So basically what the heavy doors, the crank doors are the ones that you have like a little crank next to them.
Вон, смотри, Сакур. Туз. Червовый приехал. Козырь.
What that means, let's have a look at the video and we explain.
Awesome.
Oh.
Wow, it didn't close.
Exactly.
Is that real?
Идите съел, ты видишь?
So
Ты смотри, какая решетка.
Huge improvement and change to how these doors now work. Also, you might have noticed
Ты
the window is
смотри.
now in a different position and allows you
Починили,
much
ёб
clearer
твою
to
мать.
actually throw stuff
3
through
года,
them,
блядь.
so they become much more of a gun position, a shooting position. So you can now like do tactics like I know, like if you're in the
3 года они хвастаются, что они двери починили. Смотрите.
of Bradley.
Смотрите, что сделали.
They have, like,
Мы догадались,
on the back side. You
что
can now,
двери
like,
можно не
open
только
the door
открывать и
and just, like,
автоматически
maybe
открывать,
make a
но и
quick
как бы
excursion outside to see if you can do a front door.
проветривать
In which case, you just go
помещение.
back inside without having to first open the door again. Just slam the button afterwards, and basically it closes after you. And
Еще и с руки закрывается. Ну это epic win, мне кажется. Это самый эпичный патч, официально заявляю, из всего, что вы выпускали за 3 года. Лучше уже не будет.
Same logic. So they can arrest open. Obviously, you need to fully open them. Like if you do not fully open them, they will always start like closing again, right? So you need to arrest them in the open position for it to not close automatically. Some of these doors actually have like no
дырку залатали.
So we're still evaluating where exactly we place them. And some of them, like this one here, for example, it can be a bit problematic because there's no way you can project any throwables on the other side, right? So
Crytek, make revolution.
Push through that door. So we're still evaluating maybe if you can open up a couple of windows or like little gaps on the side here and there.
А не рандомно? Что-то я не понял. Не рандомно будет или они теперь постоянно это будет без дырки, а та с большой дыркой? Так, еще один козырь, поехал. Ну-ка.
We also have some small changes to ladders since we added so many this update.
Ох ты ж.
You can actually
ну-ка.
change how you mount or dismount them. And I think the best is to demonstrate it in a video right away. So you guys can see.
best demonstrated, пожалуйста.
Yeah, this is just a very quick quality of life improvement. So basically, you spend less time on the top of pillars as you mount or dismount them.
X2 скорости на залезание на лестницу.
Just it's easier to just like jump up there. It's less.
Ну не зря 3 года пилили игру.
Exactly. It's a bit smoother as well, I feel like.
Yeah, and again, as you can see, we like the ladders. We do a lot of things with ladders.
Просто, ну...
And the same applies when you're going downwards as well.
Вообще, с киской вообще всегда заебись. Ну так и без киски, смотри, как эротично туда-сюда лазит. Ну все, заживем теперь.
Awesome.
Ёпта, еще погоди. Что-то как, ну, too many information.
So you can basically take it with the new ammunition and you can have more use for it than before because you don't need quartermaster.
Я считаю, это победа. Ну так потому что все на лестнице полезли и все, и похоронили.
We realized it's a big topic in the community and our team is heavily investigating it, doing all the measures we can to stop cheating and yeah, we will improve it very soon. So please stay tuned for that. And we had a longer update on the Steam forums if you want to read a bit more detail, but we are looking into it and it's one of our main priorities now. The update. Other changes that may affect a few people is performance and stutter fixes. We actually have a beta branch right now on the servers, on the PC servers, which should help with the stutters. So make sure that you guys who face these issues try that and let us know how it works. And we really want to fix these issues in the coming up.
Все возможно.
There's a couple more small things I can just drop in there. We don't have a slide for them. Just like.
А что, они hand crossbow change не будут показывать?
Because we are on test server already. Some of you might have noticed already, I suppose. So you can already read the stuff and
crossplay между консолями.
In detail how things go. 2 or 3 points that are also on the patch notes that I wanted to raise a little bit here is we also did, for example, a change to the hunter spawn. When you spawn in a trio, now every player is facing because they are aligned in a triangle, right? Every player can face and see the other 2 players. So it's just a little small improvement we have there that just makes things a little bit nicer. So you don't have to look past the shoulder of that other guy like, what skin did he bring? And just a small thing again, like nothing too big. We also did a couple of changes to the decoys, for example, that the sound, the metal plinging on impact is with having a lesser range, and we actually increased the range of the decoys, the regular ones that is, just to see that they might become a little bit more viable.
Декои,
Just so
наконец-то.
might trigger that bird cage.
Наконец-то руки дошли до декоев.
And people might assume there's players there, but they didn't hear that it was a decoy, and therefore they might actually fall for it. So just minor stuff like that allows us to just boost things a little bit.
Где? Покажите звук.
Another change is that the ghoul trait now drops from 7 to 4 points. So just based on the feedback we received on it, like 7 points was a bit too much. So with 4 points, I think it's probably in a better spot. And just like minor stuff like that. Yeah, just go check out the patch notes. There's a bit more stuff in there still, and also get like a list of the bug fixes that went in as well. There's still some known issues that we will have to iron out on test server.
Все пошли патроны
Go to test server, play test server, give us feedback. This is a big update, a massive update. You can see it from the length of this dev stream alone, right? We had a lot to talk about. I probably will not have a voice tomorrow.
That's for sure.
And
Ух ты ж, смотри, спойлера пошли.
Went at great lengths to make sure that this is very much balanced and that is a good starting point as we hit the test servers now. Like we used our external testers. Again, very big thanks to them for helping us out with this. So look out for a community, for people talking about the experiences in the testing program, and give you some information about what they think is good, what they think needs improvements or changes, and make sure you feedback that also to us in the usual channels, like be that in Reddit or Steam forums or Discord, all in all the way, social media, and make sure that we get to know your thoughts on this whole thing, and hopefully, most of all, you guys are enjoying what we did.
Exactly, and as you guys may have seen, because I clicked a bit too quickly, what is coming next, what is coming this year? A lot of you has been asking about a new map, and we actually talked about it a bit earlier, but it is coming this year, so don't worry guys, we are working on it, and it will come this year. Don't panic, I know every comment is, where is new map?
It will be awesome. It will be
Yes,
awesome. So we've done some playtesting with it internally, and this is going in the right direction. I think everybody is super excited. So stay tuned for more on that. If you want, also you can maybe just at the end just still show the image from the very beginning.
А что там с интересом игроков? Лидерборды какие-нибудь? Ну, там что-нибудь? Нет? Никак? Дверей хватит? Лестниц?
And other big topic you have been all asking.
Еще импрувмент. Вот эту вот строчку у них, мне кажется, в каждом патче они пишут.
I just won't tell you just yet, so wait a bit, be a bit patient, as well as many other things that you may have seen on our roadmap before. A lot of things are still coming this year, so please just be a bit patient, and we have a lot of surprises for you. As you can see, this update was kind of huge as well. I think maybe bigger than some of you may have expected, so don't worry too much. We are working on a lot of things, so. And as the last part of our stream is the Q&A section, which should be focused on the custom MMO mostly. So if you guys have any burning questions, please let us know right now.
Yeah, we were gonna keep this one short today, and if there's further questions, I mean, just always reach out to us over social media and we try to answer them there.
Exactly. Let me just check Discord where maybe we have some collected questions already.
Все, заканчиваем.
So there's one question here about
Или будем смотреть это Quest and Answers.
So basically the
Вопросы и ответы переведу я для несведущих в иностранном языке.
So the moment you are picking up a hunter's weapon and he has chosen to equip a certain ammo type before the round, you will now have that ammo type on this weapon with whatever capacity he had left in his inventory.
Или пойдем страдать.
So you will not be able to kind of swap out ammo types during the mission. You're kind of like committed to whatever you equip to the gun. It's like a filter. It's like you put some like the magical lens in front of the barrel, and then every bullet you shoot through is going to be the magic fire bullet, the magic poison bullet. Right? It's acting as a filter. We don't count bullets between rounds. So
полтинник сделать
if you pick up a weapon that is
Тут ты прав.
custom ammo equipped, then that will be your choice, and you will obviously only be able to resupply from it if you have a matching custom ammo type. A second question was about quick play, and at the moment we opted against using.
Бать, все повылезали просто, смотрите.
Fast, high-paced
Каналы по ханту.
We wanted to add like not this
Все
one
смотрели.
on top for now. We might be able to do this at a later point once custom ammunition has settled down a little bit more. But we feel that if you run around and you pick up these weapons from the
Тройка.
ground,
Ну
I
все,
think it's more
поехали.
reliable if they don't have the custom ammo, because you might just pick up a weapon that doesn't have an ammo type you like.
Спасибо, Денис.
There's a high chance of
Порадовал.
frustration and
За лестниц